What?
Oh.
What? They aren't just nerds. They're nerd enthusiasts.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do what?
I almost did the flash one again,
Nothing.
so I had to switch it after 3
Was
seconds.
good. Was
It was a
What's up,
Skrull
everybody?
version of the intro.
Yes, I'm a Skrull this evening. That's why I have my glasses on.
Yeah, he's even rocking the green screen.
Yeah, you see.
Nah, that's because we just showed the house all weekend, so I had to hide all my stuff. So it's
Nice.
a bare shelf behind me. Just trying to look. I thought this would brighten up the feng shui.
I feel like you need some subtitles this evening. What did you just
what?
say?
Is it low? Did I not mess with my mic?
Whoa, are you
Is
speaking
it better
English right
now? Is it better now? You
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, that's a little bit better.
Whatever. I don't care. Listen, everybody. Welcome to the Nerd Mafia channel. And this is the Nerd Enthusiast panel.
Oof,
See, they're all happy to be here.
oof, that's a hot mess right there.
Always starts out happy. We'll see how it goes.
My avatar is smiling just a little bit. Just a little bit.
But basically what we're gonna do tonight, I figure we talk a little bit about, what all the kids are raving about. Secret Invasion.
I don't keep
Are
up with
they?
the kids. What are they talking about? Secret Invasion? Yeah, it's,
In my mind, they are.
the grown
They're
folks are
Skrulls.
complaining from what I saw, but I don't know about the kids. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people in the know.
Is what it is. But yeah, so I got some questions, and I don't think anybody here has answers, but we're still gonna ask them. And
Sure.
it's really gonna boil down to we're on Scroll Watch right now. I think it's the whole purpose of this show,
Mhm.
and it's really bothering me. I want to know, and so let's just put it all out there, okay? I want to hear from each one of you who you think the surprise Skrull being is going to be. All right, the next one we're going to get.
I think it's
extra
going to
deal.
be Maria Hill.
Just put it out there. Start with you, Scotty. You're left of me, right of me. whatever.
Well, I was gonna say.
Oh, you're muted. You're trying to
Is it?
spoilers.
Am I? You
No,
really
you're
can't hear
good.
me?
No,
I don't think he can hear us.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he can hear us.
I hear everybody. I hope you can hear me. I think it was cool that they revealed that Ross was
I don't believe he can hear you.
Skrull in the beginning there. I think it would be cool.
Is it just
anytime
me?
they
You guys
do
can
a
hear each
double
other?
take.
Yeah, you're the odd man out.
So I think it would be cool anytime they did a double take where we just saw a Ross version of a Skrull. So now I assume we're gonna meet the real Ross again. But what if that's another you know what I mean?
You talking about Everett Ross?
The guy that
Yeah.
died in the very first scene.
Oh yeah, Everett. Yeah.
So
Everett.
he's gonna show back up again.
Is he?
assumingly.
Is he going to show
Because-
back up in this show though? Because isn't he supposed to be at Wakanda? He just got rescued in Wakanda for never.
Yeah, he's working with
Oh.
what's her name though now, hand in hand.
Okoye?
I always forget her name.
Okoye.
Okoye. Yep, that's who it is.
No,
I was forgetting
No.
her name.
no, the white chick. Working
Oh,
with,
you talking about,
Oh, Val.
Thunderbolts. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, his
He's
wife,
working
his
with her now.
ex-wife,
She made
yeah.
him.
All kinds of
She
crap
was.
right now. Hold on.
Do you guys
You
remember
know-
how Wakanda Forever ended? She forced him basically to no, you're gonna come work for me now. So
I don't think that was him though. I think that what they're doing with the show is revealing that a lot of the shit that went down was probably a Skrull, right? So, because I think in the comics, I don't know if
that
they're
was
gonna do
his
this
scroll.
right.
That scroll the whole time in Wakanda.
Well, yeah. Well, no. What I'm saying is in the comics, I think the thing is if you're gonna be taken, if your identity is taken, I think you kind of have to still be alive. So they have to keep you captive somewhere, or some shit like that.
In
So,
order to have the memories and stuff like they showed us, yes.
Yeah, so so he's alive somewhere, but he's not free now that the other one is dead, right? So for
So
all
you
intents
think
and
he's captured?
purposes, yeah, somebody else could just
Okay, I wasn't
pop
going
in
that
real
far.
quick, steal his event, his identity, steal his memories and shit again, and then and then we have another scroll, right? So
So does that mean that we have the scroll, that's in Wakanda?
I mean, we might. At this point, I guess it's like it's one of those things it's just a guessing game. Like my grandma could be one at this point.
Is
Turn
she?
it up. Turn it up.
No, I
Turn
can
it
hear
up.
you now.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
what? All right, so I missed everything everybody just said for the past 2 minutes.
We really didn't say anything. We just literally went in a circle and said nothing because Skrulls. So I was saying how I thought it would be cool if they revealed that Ross was a Skrull again when we meet him again. But
Yeah.
Oh, like
he might
another
be
Ross?
captured. He might be captured and they have his memories.
Yeah, I think they can scroll him out as many times as they want. Wasn't it in
Because
that
you think he's
scene?
captured, but I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
he's captured.
I
I
think
think
he
that
is.
was just a rogue Skrull impersonating him to get the info.
No, I think that they were working with the cell. I think that they were working with the terrorist group.
And that they have him in their possession.
Yeah. So what's
Okay.
that dude's name? Is it Talos? Is he the
Yeah.
He's the leader
antagonist
of the
at the
rebellion.
moment, right?
No,
Okay.
Gravik's the leader.
Gravis.
Talos is Fury's buddy.
Yeah. So
Well,
Gravix.
yeah, it depends
Right.
on what you call the rebellion, I guess.
So the dude who Gravix looks like at the end of the show, right? The young dude, the young gentleman, right? A bunch they just duplicate that image a bunch of times, right? So like, what's to say that they can't do that with Everett Ross? They could probably. I mean, they're saying that it's a capability that they have. So
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it was just some random Skrull in
oh
person.
no, I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying
Yeah.
that Marvel was also saying that that's quite the possibility. Just in that one scene there, it's just showing you that I guess they could probably have 50 of them at one time if you want it.
Oh,
But-
you're saying Gravix in the trailer, not episode 1.
Was that in my yes the spoilers?
You're
I guess
saying
it was.
when
I
he
thought that
gets
was in the episode.
grabbed and then all the other ones turn into him as
Yeah,
well.
they turn into him, right? Yes, that's that scene, right? So
I don't think
Okay.
Yeah. That's just his bodyguards like being protective. 'Cause
there's
now you
still
don't really know who
scrolls.
he is.
There's still scrolls though, right?
Yeah.
And they're duplicating that one image, right? So what I'm saying is
Oh.
that Ross can come back as however many times they want to as another scroll.
Right.
But I'm saying that I think that the real Ross or anybody who's being duplicated right now, I think that they're alive and being held captive somewhere. So that I think that that's part of the deal.
That would be
Ross is
crazy
likely
if everybody's
kidnapped in Russia.
already caught.
You know
I
what-
mean,
you know
that's
what
the
I
whole
think?
deal.
Mhm.
That's what ends up being revealed, that there's a bunch of prisoners in the comics, at least. I mean, Kendall can chime in with Rom. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember. Like, there's a bunch of them. They're just like held captive. I think they're in some alternate dimension though, or some shit like that. Some weird shit.
Before I dive into that Ross talk, one thing that's been bothering me this whole time since watching that episode is they go out of their way to like make sure we remember that like Skrulls are immune to radiation, right? And they're staying on like an old like nuclear base in Kazakhstan, I think, or maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, that's
Right?
to like let us know, make it make sense that they're living up in Russia and hiding away, and we didn't
Yeah.
know about them the entire time.
So that
That's-
makes sense, right? But what about
I
all the
guess.
humans they're keeping in pods in that nuclear wasteland? How are they staying alive?
Because
I
they're
mean,
probably
they have to be
protected.
there a long time before it would really start affecting them.
They would be protected though. Those pods probably have some type of shielding on them. Why would you want to
I don't know,
like?
man.
So if you need the resource, right, and they need it long term because they don't know how long this invasion is going to take, right? Why would you risk, damaging the things that you need to keep you in place until your plan is enacted, right? They're probably protecting them. It'd be like no intelligent use of them to just have like people short term, right? Like this just would make no sense. They need to be Nick Fury. Like if they were Nick Fury, right? They'd need to be Nick Fury for probably like at least 2 years, so they could fuck some real shit up.
Was this thing about the nuclear stuff, was that something that was in the comics?
I'm not too sure about all that.
Well, let me stop.
I feel like they're making it a way too complicated because if you're simply just looking for a home, there's probably plenty of places on Earth that they could live, that could, sustain them, that they could, grow food.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
If they're
They can't
just
stay in
simply
the
trying
cold.
to take over,
Yeah.
30 years, that's a long ass time. They should have been able to take over if they really wanted to by now. It should have taken them 10 years, maybe even less.
I don't think they've been trying the entire 30 years though.
I mean, they mentioned it at the end of Captain Marvel. Like they're looking at that point. That's why the 30 years comes into play. 'Cause that's like mid-90s.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that I don't think that they've been looking at taking over Earth the entire.
Oh,
time.
okay. I got you.
What I'm saying is that the idea to take over Earth came about after the blip when Nick Fury went, as we've been informed about in episode 1. Apparently, he lost his shit, disappeared, and then didn't really fulfill some promises that I guess he had made to a bunch of Skrulls who were then pissed because they didn't get what they were promised, right? So now that, hey,
That's
we
really
have
it.
this viable planet now that we know that we can grow our produce on, for fuck's sakes.
Yep.
So why not we just settle down and grow our roots? So I think that's what. So maybe like the last 10 years, maybe. No, well, we don't know at what point after the blip this is, right? It just says present day. So how many years?
This is supposed to be like present. Marvel. I read something.
What's crazy to me is
So they're
that
like 5 years ahead of us, right? In real time.
Oh yeah, but Marvel, it's present. So
what's crazy to me is that all of this started off in good faith,
Mhm.
and that even Talos's wife, like basically accidentally growing or constantly trying to grow their vegetation on the planets they visit,
Yeah.
has now convinced them that Earth is a habitable planet. That's what I was going to say to his comment. That's why they're choosing Earth, because now they can grow their food there. They're at these nuclear places. I think that point of that is more importantly that humans will never go there. So it's basically a place they can hide human bodies. I don't honestly think they care too much about those human bodies because the end goal is Earth. So
I'm saying they need to protect them.
and
so that
these
they can
Skrulls are not like
continue
any of
to
the
be
Skrulls.
them. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm not saying that they care about them. I'm
Well,
saying
a
they
few
care
of
about
these
the
coming
ability
attacks-
to continue to be them. That's all.
If these attacks
Yeah.
keep leading up to bigger and bigger,
Mhm.
those people aren't going to matter.
Yeah.
The president, Nick Fury himself, like all these other targets. These are like B grade targets right now. You know what I mean?
So
The infantry.
what Daniel's saying is like 5 years post blip. So that gives us a good solid idea that it's been 10 years, right? Since the active, since Fury's been active on the actual purpose of finding them a home, basically, right? So 20 some years after Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, right? They still haven't found a viable planet. The blip
I mean, I thought they
happens.
said literally 30.
No, but what I'm saying, I'm
Yeah,
doing math. Hold
in
up,
the
I'm doing math.
episode.
Hold on, right? So 20 years after Captain Marvel, right? They still haven't found a planet. The blip happens then. Okay, Fury's gone
Okay,
for
yeah,
5
yeah.
years with everybody else. Who knows how many Skrulls disappeared? They're pissed for 5 years. They don't know what the fuck's going on, right? So there's all this mayhem. That's the start of it. Comes back, right? 5 years after that, everybody's back, and then Fury's not there to explain anything. That just sends them over the tip. So it's been about 10 years actually since they've probably been trying to take over Earth itself.
And bro,
You
like
know,
the
within that
arrogance, the arrogance of Nick Fury to be like, oh, what do you want to put on the check? Earth?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me just sign that right here. He made a deal for all of us with the Skrulls that fell through now, and I think that's what's hurting him the most. Is like, I think it's already over. Like I think the Skrulls are already.
Man, y'all make me feel
deeper
old
than
as fuck
this.
right now, man.
I'm dumb as hell as this deal, though. I mean,
Because
like,
every
first-
time I look at 1992 and then I think 30 years, wouldn't that be? I'm like, isn't that like 20?
like
No,
you really think about it.
2022.
So
Goddamn,
Fury
it's
made him
30
a
years.
deal in the 90s, right? Like we
Yeah.
ain't even been to the moon in 20 years. And like,
Yeah.
that
yeah,
we
we're
know
gonna
of.
find. And
That we know
beyond
of,
that,
yeah.
I brought this up on Trends Channel too. It's like, motherfuckers, we gave you the designs to a light speed engine. You couldn't just find your own damn planet. Like, what we gotta help you for? And you've seen the Asgardians just make their own little country on Earth. Why couldn't you just do that? You can't be happy, you know?
Mm.
Hell with the Skrulls.
Yeah, it was such a small group to begin with. Like,
Mm.
I'm confused where all the other ones have come from now. But
Well, they were on the run at that point anyway, so there's probably refugees all over the place that just came to Earth.
yeah, like, are
All right,
more
this
of
is a
them
chill
just
spot.
showing up now?
I'm assuming because they said they got at least 100 in the field, and that's only they make like a designation of like warrior and just
Yeah.
citizens when the dude goes onto the base too.
Do
Mhm.
y'all two, you two have friends that you actively care about, that you like, that you feel compassion for, just out of curiosity.
No.
Yeah, why? Where the hell is this coming from?
No, like where are you going with
No.
this?
Right.
Of course.
So, what is your answer?
Am I a
What-
human
what's
being?
your
Yes.
answer?
Well,
to
so-
our answer?
I'm a
okay.
human
No.
being.
All
Are
right.
you a human
Okay.
being?
What the hell's happening?
This well, nerd. All right. So,
I only have a lizard
Ryan over
brain
here.
when I come
Nerd
here.
Mafia is talking
but-
about, oh, well, why should we be helping you find a planet? You know, it's not our problem. They
Are you asking
They-
us if we're
they
skulls?
went through some shit together, man. So, like, in the logical sense of human beings going, let's say they weren't Skrull and one, and let's just say they were just all humans, right? And let's just say this was like Stand By Me or some shit like that instead of a fucking Captain Marvel movie, right? They went through some shit together, right? They have a bond. They feel brotherhood or like kinship now. So they entrust each other that, you know, Nick Fury's like, hey, listen, I know that you guys are probably capable of taking over my planet or whatever. Can I trust you not to do that if I help you guys find something? And he makes a fucking promise, you know, trying to protect his people. And also out of like, you know, the fucking warm fuzzies that he probably feels for his new friends, right? That's all I'm saying. Like sometimes people write stuff with that in mind, you know. It's
Look, my problem
nah,
with
Kindle
this-
is like when your
Yeah.
friend's house burnt down, right? And they ain't
This
got
is
no
one of those
means.
times where it's appropriate to strap up your own damn boots and find your own house.
You know,
Okay.
your house burns down,
I
and so
got a
you
lot
help
of
your
problems.
friends.
I got a lot of
You
problems
need-
with the show because within the show,
Yeah,
it's mentioned a ton of times. Oh well, you changed since the blip. You haven't been the same since the blip. Blah blah blah.
right.
Okay, why? I don't know why this is a thing.
What's
We've
episode-
seen. We've give me a minute. We've
I
seen
know,
plenty of people come,
Mhm.
back from the blip, and we've not seen how they've had like PTSD or whatever it is that Fury supposedly has here, because we had in Endgame all of our heroes come back from the blip and fight Thanos, and this is the first time we've ever seen that anybody's had some sort of crazy side effects from the blip. I'm like, okay, why didn't you just say he's having a midlife crisis, or even more than a midlife crisis? Because Sam Jackson is like what 70 years old right now.
Yeah, he's up. Yeah, he's up there.
so-
Well, they basically
I-
did say he's having one, like literally.
Okay, but why just him though?
It's not like I hear you saying, but technically, like right after that, Far From Home, they showed Peter just trying to like cope with the fact that like they're like calling him the new Iron Man. He's like not feeling that. He even gives up Edith. I feel like he
But
deserves
what
it.
that didn't
So
have
that's, like,
anything
a
to do
small-
with the blip.
It
that
did
had
because
to
he
do with
came
the-
back afterwards and felt the guilt of like not trying to be the new Tony Stark, and he literally gave up
I think that's a
the
good
weapon
example.
he gave him. So there's one aspect of it, maybe not on the same scale, but Peter also wasn't the guy that was basically the man in charge of protecting Earth, like through the World Council, whatever they have set up, and
Mhm.
Shield, and then all of a sudden just saw he had literally no control over the whole universe.
And the
He
other
just-
thing too is like the
Yeah.
responsibility that some of the people had before the blip, because
Yeah.
for them it was 5 seconds like in and out, but the responsibility that each individual had 5 years gone by, like Fury thought that the Avengers were the answer and they'd never need to protect Earth ever again, and he failed basically.
Yeah, I'm still not buying that. I look.
Well, that
Fury's
story's
been
gotta
through
develop,
shit.
too.
Nick Fury's been through shit before the blip. So him having the blip time and then being up in space all this time, it's just not connecting for me. Why everybody's saying, "Oh, you've changed so much. You've changed so much." I think that they really are trying to focus on that aspect way too much. I think it's putting too much pressure on whatever story they're trying to tell with this.
That's
Well, hopefully he opens up more about it, because
Yeah.
Stanley's saying it in chat too. The second part of what you're saying is his inaction when he comes back to stay there and not do anything. Like, why has he been up there this whole time? What's the plan? He said, I got to do it myself. Okay, what's your plan, man? Because it
Well,
seems like to
He
me,
waited a
the
long
first
time
episode-
to try to
yeah.
fix it.
and he's literally just trying to follow everybody else's plans now. Like,
Well, the problem with a lot of that is he is it's not actually a Fury problem. It's a storytelling problem by Marvel in general, because they didn't keep us in that area. We got No Way Home, right? And then after No Way Home, what came out after that? We got WandaVision, right? Or was it Falcon and Winter Soldier? I can't remember the
Yeah,
exact
we're all
time.
over the place.
WandaVision
The
was
storytelling is all over the place.
Right.
That's the problem for me. Is it's
Yeah.
hard to track where they're going with this,
Right.
and I'm not sure that they know where they're going
Now
with this.
we
And
know that.
let me address this little
Yeah.
comment that Kendall put in the chat. Felicity,
What's
I
that?
think that's what he wants him to think. So are you telling me that he basically let Maria Hill get killed because he's trying to keep up this 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 scenario? I need people to think I'm weak.
Hmm.
Is that what we're doing?
Oh, I don't think he needs people to think he's weak. I think
40
he feels
chess.
weak. I think he feels weak,
Sure.
especially now
Okay.
that she died.
Yeah.
But I agree with the Gravix comment because I believe Gravix was like Talos's second in command, right? Back in the day.
It was he?
They said something about that. Or when he mentioned Gravix, because Fury asks him about him, I think. I don't know. I think Fury's the one that brings up Gravix to begin with, but yeah, I don't think that anybody on the other side is going to doubt Fury's capabilities, and that's why they're literally blowing people up.
He did
I thought
mention
shit
that
was pretty
Gravix
creepy.
took it
I don't know about
hard,
you
but
guys.
he mentioned that Gravix took it hard, but I can't remember exactly how Gravix got brought into the conversation. I gotta go back.
It was
and look.
early. It was
Yeah.
as soon as they were on the roof. Well,
One thing I don't like about this is it's
oh yeah,
it's
the
another
Skrull
consistent
Council.
issue that we have with Marvel. They have these storylines. I think I
That's
said
what it
this
was.
last time. They have these storylines that they could stretch out for a longer time, right? Like this is clearly going to be a one season thing. Like
6
especially-
Right.
episodes.
This is clearly going to only be one season though, because the way the pacing is going, they're going to run through this and then just toss the storyline out and then go into Armor Wars with it. I think, which is kind of silly because like the whole thing with Nick Fury coming back could have been season 1 of a drawn out thing. That could have like just been like Nick Fury hasn't been here. There's a whole bunch of other shit going on with the Skrulls. If there is a militant movement, right, and they're blowing shit up and trying to take over, and they're doing all this covert stuff. That's a missed opportunity not to dive into that more. No,
I agree. I think it would be cool if they stretched out season 1 to be just the time during the blip.
Yeah,
and how the Skrulls infiltrated while the blip was happening.
Shit, the blip itself, the 5
Because like I
years
said,
after
they're going to
the
hit
blip
about
would
it.
have
They're
been
going to
great.
hint at it.
The
Yeah,
5 years after would have been great just to focus on that, like just that window, everything.
I think
We
we're going to
got
get
it.
a bigger window just throughout the show. A lot of flashbacks. Because I mean, that's the best time for them to infiltrate and like take over people. It's a lot of chaos going on at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then-
I don't know, man.
I mean, there's definitely gonna be a lot of flashback. The showrunners basically said like you're gonna dive into a lot of the backstory about Nick Fury during this. So
Yeah,
like that's coming
I
for
don't know.
sure.
I think that we've gotten so used to them retroactively fixing shit in a certain way that we don't even question it anymore. Like
You mean you don't?
I mean, in my head, a lot of I don't know. A lot of us, I don't think a lot of us do. But like I do now. I think it's kind of tiring. I'm tired.
Felicity
of this,
makes me question everything.
Well, I'm
Hey,
tired of time
that's
hopping,
one of
man.
my mottos. Question everything.
I'm tired
I
of
do.
time hopping. Like I'm just. Can we sit still for a little bit? Okay.
I need to start writing down the ideas I have for clips.
I never got to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man just kind of like hop around Queens and just take out some regular dudes for a while, right?
Yeah, I got a whole video game. You can sit down for 8 hours and do that.
Exactly.
Nah, but I mean,
talking
like,
about?
if you're gonna do the character, do the fucking character. But we got rushed through all these characters because it's the MCU and not like,
Fine, you get 24 episodes of Daredevil beating the shit out of people, okay?
I didn't ask
You
for
just
that,
got to
bro.
be patient.
I didn't ask for
Okay.
that.
There might be a
I want
Spider-Man.
to address
in
this
there.
real quick.
I
The
didn't ask for
Crisis
that.
of Faith angle. So he wouldn't have had a Crisis of Faith when Shield got infiltrated by Hydra. that feels like, that's when he should have had a crisis of faith,
Mhm.
rather than this where he basically sat on it for 30 years before he decided to really do
Yeah.
anything. So that doesn't work for me. If it works for you, okay. But look, for me, this show, I'll continue to watch it and talk about it, because quite frankly, the conversation about it is more interesting to me than the actual show was.
Mhm.
I don't think anything is new there. I think that they wanted to make like a Born type show with this, and it doesn't fit. It's like trying to fit, you know, a square peg into a round hole. It doesn't work. The pieces just
Yeah.
don't mesh.
You're already there after one episode, though.
I was gonna say first episode for me. I'm
Yeah,
ready for
no,
more.
that first episode really, I gave it a 6. And because I couldn't give it a 5 because there is some interest for me there.
Yeah.
But my interest is because I'm attached to Fury.
Mhm.
I'm even attached to Talos. Like, I was glad to see Ben Mendelsohn get back, in there, and for them to be on screen and interact together. But the rest of it, I'm just like, I mean, even
Yeah.
Maria Hill dying, I wasn't that, like, it didn't hit.
You know what's odd about that though? That choice. Let me know if anyone else thought about this, but didn't Talos's what's her name? What was Talos's wife's
Soren.
name? Soren, right? At the end of No Way Home, right? In the post credit scene, that was her as Maria Hill, right? Because her and Talos were in the car instead of, at first we thought it was Nick Fury and Maria Hill, but it ended up being those two Skrulls, right?
Yes.
But then she dies, so she dies off screen
between then and now.
And now Maria Hill is dead, supposedly. And
Right.
that's so weird. It's odd that like the last time we saw her, she was pretending to be Maria Hill, and then she dies, and now Maria Hill
Really
dies.
weird. It's really weird
Maybe
that they
Gravix
chose
knew.
to have her go out like this, where she's questioning,
Mhm.
that this guy that she's been following all this time.
That too,
That was such
foreshadowing
a
in the
weird
bar,
choice. But
there's a lot of throwaway
know.
moments they have in here, like with characters that people are invested in during the big phases of everything.
What are you talking about? Explain on that.
I think it was a throwaway moment. Like they took her life, and like she's acting this sort, like there's not really a lot of expert. Huh?
Her death was a throwaway moment.
I think so. I think
it did feel like that.
Like Coulson. Coulson didn't need to die, and then they bring him back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? And then they go through all this bullshit the entire time that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s on, and it's great, but it's like it's not canon, right? Because they're not bringing him back. But
Maria
if you
Hill
were
had
bring
10
him back,
years the whole
why would
time
you?
with him.
But my point is, if
Since
you were going to
Captain
bring him
Marvel
back,
1.
why would you kill? Just don't kill him.
They weren't. That was two different studios at the time.
It wasn't the first season. They were still connected. That's why Nick Fury showed up on the show.
They got
after season 1. They separated. Season 1, Nick Fury showed up. He was still and he was still like connected to everything. He was the reason why Coulson came back, because they had him in whatever that friggin' stupid ass project name was. I can't remember.
Actually,
And you know what? Better not happen at the end of this show. They better not fucking tell me that Nick Fury was in Tahiti or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Project Tahiti or something.
Because if they do, I will come on that day and crush every one of you for this show.
Well, he sent down a Skrull. That's not really him.
I cannot do it. Can't do it.
You think that that's not Nick Fury? You think that?
I mean, what's to say on Saber they don't have that same thing and he's hooked up to it right now?
So you think that the Skrull's convinced that he's Nick Fury right now?
No, I'm saying that the good Skrulls up on Saber working with Sword have that same technology that the evil Skrulls have, and that Nick Fury himself could just be a clone copy.
That's what I'm saying.
Mind and everything.
But I don't think that a Skrull would be able to play Nick Fury as well as Nick Fury can play Nick Fury.
That's why they have that thing that they hook him up to. That
no,
gives them
even
all
with
the
that,
memory.
I don't think even then that.
Bro, the Skrulls can do
why
that.
Why would he be going through the
their
emotional? No, I'm saying
abilities.
the Skrull wouldn't be going through all the emotional stuff that we're seeing Nick Fury go through, though.
Yeah, he would.
There's no explanation for that.
100% of all of the memory.
think
That's
so?
how they stay. Bro, that's how they take your face. We're talking like
No, that's not how they take your face.
Look,
that's
says
how
it
they
in
are
the-
you. What are you talking about?
That's two separate
In the
processes.
comics,
They say
not-
they
not
take
in
your
the-
face and then they
not
take
in
your
in
memory
the
separately. It's
show
just-
I just watched.
yeah,
They
they
Talos
take
is
this.
now
surprised
take
they
his
can get 100% of
mind.
your memory.
Yeah, it's separate.
He said, "Now take his
Yeah,
mind."
and then when they cut
Okay.
to Talos and told them about it, he said they have the ability to do that now. So that's not something they all can do.
They cut
How
the
else would-
Talos, sure, but Nick Fury didn't say shit.
All right, so you're just
It
so
is
I'm
Nick
clear.
Fury after
Just
all.
so I'm clear, you're saying that when a Skrull takes over somebody or becomes somebody, they get 100% of their memories.
When they have
they
their
did do a memory
bodies
download.
literally snatched and hooked up to that machine. Yes,
But that's also a Gravik invention. Like we don't know if we don't even know if there's good ones on Saber at this point.
who's on Saber. If Fury wasn't up there with Talos and all his people,
We
They-
don't know.
I
that.
think
We
that-
we
I don't
know
think
I
that
thought they
they-
were literally hiding.
Sword is on Saber.
I don't think that would be.
I'd have to go watch because I thought there were
yeah.
Skrulls there too.
Because Talos
Pretty sure.
actually asked at one point.
I
during
think
the
those are all
episode.
humans. I don't think that they would. They don't think they would let Skrulls be up there.
Whatever, dude. Fuck it.
I
Nick
mean,
Fury's
there's-
a Skrull. I don't care.
Who knows? I don't know.
There's hints to it though that Sword knows about Saber or Sword knows about Skrulls anyway though because just in WandaVision he has like Skrulls ? Written up on the chalkboard behind when we first trying to figure out what's going on like Jimmy Woo or whatever. But I don't know. We don't know for sure they're up there.
All right, we all good on this one now? We all good on the?
Yeah, we can move
No.
on.
No.
No, we're not good.
So
We
you
didn't
talk
even
about
answer the damn question I asked in the first place.
Yo, we
Who
did.
do you think the next Skrulls are?
Oh, we did. Everybody.
I didn't hear
You can't
shit.
answer
You
that.
ain't
You
hit.
can't.
That ain't not.
Every
You
time
gotta
I
I
watch that.
actually,
gotta
I'll
watch
talk
that.
about them. So
You gotta
first
watch-
off,
it's the
Ross.
replay that.
Take us on a
Ross. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna take you on a little journey. We got prime suspect. Well, obviously we know Ross is a Skrull, but the question is when, right? It has to be some point after he was at Wakanda because Shuri got to look at his whole body, so she would have known if he was a Skrull at that. So he's not just a fictional character; he's
Wrong.
a real human.
Wrong. She would
Why
not
is that
have-
wrong?
She would not have known.
Why?
You mean tell me that's how good it is? They wouldn't have known.
Yeah. I think
She
they take
would not have
over their
known.
whole metaphysical.
She would not have known.
Not true. Go
down
back
to
and
the
watch Captain
molecular
Marvel.
level.
I'm sorry. That she wouldn't have known. It's gonna be. I'm
Captain-
telling you, we can make a bet about that. It'll be revealed that it was probably before that.
For one, when they get that close to dying, they go back to their normal form because they actually have to use their consciousness to stay in that form.
That is true.
Two,
Okay, that
you
does
go
make
back.
sense.
Yeah. Two,
Oh,
you go back
okay.
to Captain
Okay.
Marvel in the 90s.
Okay.
Shield scientist
Yeah.
dissects a Skrull. They do have a different internal organs, everything. So she would have seen that.
I'm still gonna say no because in the comics, if you got people who Captain America, all these people, there's a bunch of people who ended up being Skrulls that got past all kinds of government
But we're-
agencies and genetic testing and all this other shit that we're talking about, right? I'm
But
telling
we're
you, we're gonna
not.
get to. They're gonna come out with some shit that said that they got too advanced with it and they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's gonna come.
All right.
It's coming.
I think you're wrong. So I'm sticking with my same premise. I think he got taken sometime after he got out or sprung free by Midnight Angels. Some point during that, on the run, he's a fugitive. He's got less help. He's got to
Yeah.
depend on himself anyway.
Yeah.
That's the perfect time to grab him because he's on the run.
Okay,
anyway.
so I have a question. Is
So
that
Okoye is
where
one,
the intrigue is? Is that where the intrigue is with this show for you guys? Is figuring out who was a Skrull and when were they made a Skrull or whatever? Because I gotta. That's like the least interesting.
It's
For
a
me
interesting
too.
thing.
With
I
the
like
show.
the show not
I agree
because of
with you.
that. I don't like
Not-
the show because of that.
Not when
I
you
like
tie
the
it all
show.
together.
I like the show because on the surface, it feels like I'm watching Winter Soldier again, right? A little bit. That's why I like the show so far. That doesn't mean that the show's great. It doesn't mean that there's a lot of things that I love about it, but I feel like there's a lot of potential. And I got enough interest watching episode 1 to say, all right, I'll be here for episode 2 for sure. Right?
Okay,
That's where I'm at with it.
You don't
I
care
agree
if
with you
Rhodey's
on the.
you don't care if Rhodey's a Skrull too.
I don't give a shit. At this point, I don't care.
I don't think it's the
Yeah.
most intriguing
Because-
part of the show because we
brought the
know that
thing-
that's gonna come.
they
We
brought the
know we're gonna
universe
get the
down
Skrull
already.
reveals.
Yeah.
For me, it's where the infiltration is gonna stop. Like we know
Okay.
the president is a target potentially. We know that Ross is going to take over that position eventually. I'm more interested in Gravix having Groot's literal root ability.
Yeah,
so
we didn't even get to
we
that
know
part
they
yet.
have access to damage control. They showed, and shout out to like all the big channels that do the breakdowns, but the case that's opening says Cull. A lot of people think that that's the hand of Cull Obsidian. So they literally have all of the shit from all of the fights in one location. Skrulls get in there, we're going to have more superpowered everything going on. So I'm just ready for that. I know this show's going to have twists and turns I'm excited for, but
You
the
think
Skrull shit's
Gravix
gonna be
is
too hard to figure out.
You think Gravix is a super scroll?
Maybe not now, but eventually, yeah. They have some Groot DNA.
Yeah, because at some point that don't make sense for because I mean you'd have to still do the same process you did for the humans to take over, right? Unless you were a super scroll, because
I don't
that's
know
I
how to
guess
do
the
the
whole
Super Scroll stuff. They have that chamber that they showed.
Yeah, I'm interested in how that'll play out too.
Yeah.
With what's going on there, and then
yeah.
I
Because
mean,
if they got to do all this other stuff right now to do it, it don't make no sense that they would have a super scroll who could just fucking do it. Because that's the whole thing in the comics. He could just do it. There's no, you know.
They're gonna show us how
I
they
think
figure
that
that
the
out.
MI6 chick is a Skrull.
See,
And I say
you're
that
into it.
because
With
I
red.
say that because she fell for the okey doke with
Yeah.
that statue that he put the
Yeah.
the visualization
camera.
device
Mhm.
on. I'm just like, really? You're a spy and you didn't notice that he was messing around with something in your office? Come on. No.
Also,
I don't
kind of like
believe
a hint when he's like, "When did you become so into owls?" You know,
it.
Clocks. Yeah, clocks.
maybe he, you know. And then,
Maybe he knows already. Shit.
I mean, they showed us that big ass pit full of like fracking chambers. Like, there's a shit ton of people. I want to see Sharon Carter. That needs to happen by the end of the series. Sharon Carter needs to be revealed as a Skrull, and that Skrull needs to be killed, and we get the real Sharon Carter back. I need that to happen for my life to feel better.
Mhm.
All right, and then I go back and forth like every other day on whether or not President Ritson is a Skrull or President Ritson is a target of Skrulls. Because I just keep hanging on the fact that like he sits down with Rhodey, he's like, "You're the most wanted man alive right now." It's like, all right, did they frame him for killing the president, or did he kill the president on purpose because he was a Skrull? Like, which one? Oh, you know.
Well, I mean, they might have like just killed him to create chaos. You know?
Probably. I mean, either way, you do it, but you can even get Nick Fury to do it for you.
Yeah.
He finds out he's a Skrull, so that's why. That's
Hey man,
the system.
I'm trying to get us to talk about Flash, man. Let's get on best because I ain't get
Why were you going to talk about?
I am so
shit on
excited to
all
talk
over
about that.
because I ain't get to talk
Oh.
trash about the Flash show yet, man. Let's get past this secret
We
invasion
do that
shit. We
all
done
already,
dragged this
dude.
shit through the mud already, man.
In
We
the
good.
multiverse. I thought we already did this.
Turning toxic. All we don't do is talk crap about stuff now.
No,
All right.
we just sharing opinions, man.
Go ahead, flash away. Let's stop talking about this cool series and let's talk about crap again.
What was the point, man?
What's the point?
If some-
Thematically, what was
Something else happens, we can talk about it.
of the Flash? I mean, like, what was the point?
The
God
point was
damn.
that they had to burn off some extra, product that they had, and
They wasted such a great storyline, though, man. The Flashpoint. Come on.
Yeah. We forgot about the movie. It's about the aftermath, pretty much, with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, James Gunn kind of hurt his credibility with this thing. He shouldn't have come out and said anything
No, he
about
shouldn't
the
have.
Flash being good.
Yeah.
He should have just let it be Elseworlds. I think it's the way that he put it in his presentation or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he showed his hand when it started to fail, and he said, "Oh yeah, Blue Beetle's going to be my first first
No, they've
person
been
in
saying
the DCU." It's like,
He hit
really?
that damn eject button so
They've
fast.
been saying that though before the Flash.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle's been greenlit. Blue Beetle was actually greenlit before, like during the deal.
I don't think we
So-
were sure.
But not
that-
for the
we
DCU.
weren't
He
sure,
never
though.
said it was in the DCU until all the shit went down with the Flash.
I was under the
I
wasn't-
think
impression
he's
that it
been
would
saying
be.
it since Flash promotions have been happening, and since
Sure.
the
I-
Comic Con that the that all of the Blue Beetle stuff came out. He's been saying it.
So since then, I thought that they would be on the side. I thought it would be part of the Elseworld stuff, like
He didn't
like
commit.
the Batman and stuff like that. That's what
He
I
did
thought.
not
I've been
commit
following it,
until all of a
and the
sudden.
only thing I've ever heard him
Yeah.
say is that he is in the new stuff. He will be a character in the new stuff. So I don't think he's
I
ever
thought
not
that
said
just
it.
I
came
don't
out.
remember him saying that, and not initially.
He keeps being asked now because of the Superman film, so he has
Yeah.
to clarify that
Yeah.
technically Blue Beetle is the first character because he's staying in. He's literally the only one staying in, and that Superman will be the first movie. People don't like that. People literally fucking hate that. That's all the internet wants to talk about. What do you mean first character? What do you mean first movie? Like, he literally said first character, first movie. That's what he means. I don't know. And the thing about the Flash too is like, how's the Flash hurt James Gunn? It's not his shit at all. Not at all.
It does hurt.
Okay,
a little
Nope.
bit.
Let
It
that
hurts a
shit
little
come
bit.
out. I think it's gonna make him
Because
look
of what I
better
just
when he does
said.
his shit.
It does
Because
hurt a little bit.
of what I just said, when you validate
Yeah.
something like that, something that bad, the way that you did,
A lot
it
of
makes
people
people
validated
question. It makes people question. Okay, well, if you said this was good, then what about the shit that you're about to come out with?
Whew.
Nobody
Because
can ever say the sequels for Star Wars were ever good again if you want to be cast in a Star Wars movie. Again, this is like a tired argument. Why are people not allowed to have opinions on stuff? That should not affect him going. That shouldn't affect.
Pops, really,
We're talking about
you really
opinions,
think that-
right?
You
So
really,
he has
you
an
really
opinion
think
on a
that
movie?
He thinks that it was one of the
And it-
best comic book movies of all time.
A
You
lot
really
of people
think
do.
that he thinks that?
A lot of people do.
Do you think that James Gunn thinks that? That's what I'm asking you.
I don't think it
Or was
matters.
he just being
what
a promotion?
I think he should say that. I think that's what a leader should do.
Okay, then if I'm just anybody off the street and I hear that he has said this, and I'm hearing all my friends tell me that this movie sucks, nobody went to see it. Look at the box office. It's like one of the worst bombs of all time. This guy said it was one of the best movies, comic book movies of all time, and he's about to put out his DCU. So what am I supposed to think?
Whatever you want to think, you're still gonna go watch his DC. Like,
I mean, am I though?
I don't think that him. I think. Listen, he's running the DC shit now. He got signed to that contract. He's making these statements. That's why he's making the money.
The reason why I question him, right, is because listen,
He's doing leadership shit.
Listen. If you're gonna tell me something's good, right, just because you want me to go see it and spend my money because you know you got to make up a bottom line, I don't want to see what you got for me. That movie was trash, man. Irregardless, like even if Snyderverse was staying, that movie and like how I saw it, it was just kind of like, dude, this makes no sense. This
I
wasted.
think there's a lot of Marvel stands
good-
that'll put Marvel
this ain't
films
got
over the
shit to do
Flash
with
just
Marvel,
because
man.
it's DC.
It ain't got shit to do with Marvel, my man. Listen, Flashpoint animated movie, right? That goddamn movie right there. Excuse my French, whatever. Fuck it, I don't care. That was a great movie. They did that shit right. Animated film, no problem.
How
no
good are the Marvel
complaints.
animated?
I don't listen. Actually, pretty good. There's a few that are really, really good. DC animated universe though is pretty damn good. It's hard to compete with that. And
Oh, you want to go into Marvel
Understand.
animated? We can go
But-
back to the 90s, bro. Like
I'll go
Spider-Man,
back. I'll
X-Men.
always reference that because what they did with these movies was just ridiculous. If you got some people in place where you are just killing it, and then you were just so inconsistent in your movies, like, do you need a whiteboard with all the tips of like where everything is supposed to be so you can keep it consistent from story to story, or like, you know, maybe
Again, that's
don't.
old DC. Honestly, I don't care.
It's
I moved
ODC, same parent company.
Okay, so, bro, you could say that
Something
about
is
a lot
wrong
of
in
shit.
the something is
You
wrong
can say
in the
that about a
company that
lot
got
of
nothing
shit,
to do
dude.
with a
You
lot
can
of
say
their
that about
creators.
Star Wars. You can like how far do you want to take that?
Sure, but like
So you
Warner
got
Brothers is the
Bob
one-
Iger coming back, so now Star Wars is saved. People hated
Nah,
the prequels, bro.
Listen,
Like,
I don't give two
how
shits
far
about
do you wanna
Disney.
take
I'll
that
trash them
argument?
too. You know what I'm saying? WB is trash though, my man. They're going under.
hey, so let's see what
They're
James Gunn has
selling
to
this
say
and that
about
left
it.
and right. They're selling like, you know, anything they can sell right now. Oh, they're selling it, right? They're trying to get out of the, you know, the sinking ship.
I think the fact that he praised the film, the fact
Yeah.
that fans hated it, I think that only helps his shit going forward. I think he's fine. I think his comment was smart, if anything.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of people who are gonna love what he does, irregardless, right? They're gonna
Because
be
it's
some
all
young
gonna be
kids who've not
connected,
seen any of the shit,
first of all.
who are just like gonna just starting to be of age to be able to watch this kind of thing, who are gonna watch his stuff and love it, right? So there will be an audience. Will his movies make money? Yes, they will. Will they be loved? Most likely by a certain group of people, because you can't get around that, right? So let's reference Star Wars, right? If you
You
go back to
people.
the prequels, right? The prequels, there were kids who loved those movies because that was their Star Wars, right? And they probably just the bane of their existence is hearing old fuckers complain about the new Star Wars that they don't like, while these kids are just having a blast, right? Same thing's gonna happen with Guns DC. But me personally, my valid existence, I'm saying I've seen enough DC content, I've seen enough superhero content at this point in my life to be like, you know what? I'm kind of like they've had so many times to get these characters right for me on screen and have not for me, right? I'm speaking
How
to
many
my
times
my
have
validity,
they
right? They've like
failed the
tried to
Flash
do,
for you?
dude. They failed to Flash.
How many times has
Actually,
the Flash sucked for you?
John
Right.
Wesley's shit was not that bad. No, wait, was it John Wesley? No, you know the old school one from the early '90s. It wasn't that bad, honestly. You know, Adventures of Lois
I'm
and
just
Clark
trying to counter you a little here
with
because,
like Dean
like,
Cain. That wasn't that. I mean,
maybe
Dean
they've done
Cain
a
is Dean
couple
Cain.
bad
But it wasn't
DC
that.
films,
It wasn't that.
but
It wasn't that trash. You know, it wasn't that bad.
I don't understand what your argument is anymore, though. 'Cause
My
Gunn
argument
hasn't
is
had
that they've.
a trilogy.
My argument is that they've had so many like almost successes, but not quite, and then
So many
a lot
false starts.
so many false starts, so many misfires with
False
some
starts.
like they're big characters, right? The ones that people they're just dying to have be consistent for them on screen. That for me, I'm just kind of like, you know what, I'm good. You know, like
But that was
I don't know if I want to see the live action Superman suck. You know what I mean?
but that was live action Snyder, right? Dark and edgy Superman.
Snyder,
WB,
Roth, the last like couple of Reeves Superman movies. I can go on it like I'm not picking and choosing here, man. I'm not being a bitch boy. You know what I mean?
That's
At
the
this
only reason
point,
I'm
the
excited
best
is because
Superman
it's
that
all
we've
connected.
gotten has been in the 70s. That was the best Superman that we've gotten.
What was the best Guardians of the Galaxy we got before Gunn?
I like the Superman that's on
we
TV.
didn't have that.
The
What
Superman
was the
that's
best
right now on
Peacemaker we
CW.
got
I like
before
him.
Gunn?
But he's on
Look,
CW.
Remember that?
I'm behind him.
What was
But
the
what
best
I'm saying
Suicide
is
Squad
that
movie?
the confidence in him has been shaken. Whatever confidence that there was in Gunn before this Flash thing happened
Yeah.
has been shaken. That's just the reality. That is the way that it
Wait,
is.
say again. Sorry.
The confidence in Gunn.
The confidence in Gunn has been
Okay.
shaken.
Yeah.
You should go watch his interview with Rosenbaum. He
I
is
mean,
not worried about anybody's
I
opinions.
don't think he is worried.
At all.
It don't matter if he's worried.
His
or not,
confidence
though.
is at an all-time high. He just
Yeah.
wrote a Superman
No,
movie. He's in
No,
love with.
not his confidence.
Not his
Our
confidence.
confidence in him because of the way that the Flash thing was handled.
Bro,
That was
I
like,
am.
you could
I
easily
am
write that off as
on the
Zaslav
moon.
said, hey, promote this movie. Because you had everybody else promoting the movie too. But
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went to Tom Cruise, who didn't even make a public,
Stephen
statement. He made a statement in the press. Oh yeah, I like the movie or what? I can't remember what the fuck he
I
said.
want to point out,
Uh,
you see, when I did what I just did, I dragged the movie a little bit, but like I didn't say any of the shit that you see on social media, right? I didn't say nothing about no special.
I'm not
effects
saying
and-
fire him or
and none
Saffron
of
or any of
none
that
this other
stuff.
BS that you see, right? What I'm referring to specifically, why I think that this movie, like, what's the point, right? It's because they had a solidified story, right? Where key players and key moments should have been in place because of I'll always go back to this between this movie and Civil War. You have two movies right there, right? That are pretty iconic within the comic book realm, right? So you kind of want to have certain things happen and hit those moments. If you're going to be shielding the fans, right? Like Michael Keaton's great, right? But if you're going to shield the fans, have the moments that you had from the story in there, right?
Look at this tool bag.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna do a
What it is,
storyline that big, right? Why change so much of it? You know, like Marvel did it with Endgame and Infinity War, right? They did the best they could with what they had with those characters, but they still had some key characters in it. You know what I mean? They didn't like kind of
So you're
sort of
going-
drag Henry Cavill back with Black Adam, and then like trash him and throw him out, and then have his cousin in the in the Flash movie, and then supposedly had to have like a Henry Cavill cameo to connect that. You know, like there's a whole bunch of like weird things that they were supposed to do in this movie. They didn't do it.
So we're going back to shit on Flash. We're off of shit on WB as a whole.
I'm just saying, man.
I think they were stuck. I mean, I legit think that they were stuck contractually to put this movie in the theaters. Otherwise, they should have just put it on Max and let people, watch it if they felt like they wanted to watch it. And there's people out there that's saying it probably would have cost them less money, or they would have lost less.
Let me ask you a
if they
question.
had put it on Max.
Y'all like the Wonder Woman 1984?
No.
I haven't even watched that shit.
But you're referring to all the stuff that was under an older, like,
No, that's
somebody
not
with
my
a
point.
completely
That's not my
different
point.
style.
That's not my point.
I don't know what your point is then.
My
I keep
point is,
asking.
what was the point of even putting the fucking movie out? If you're gonna cancel Batwoman, right? That was already shot and filmed, that had Keaton in it as well, right? If you're gonna
So we're
cancel
back to
that,
Flash.
I'm saying, man.
Look, he just don't want to
Who's
talk
the
about
point?
this shit. He want to go back and talk
No,
about
I'm
fucking
legit-
Secret Invasion.
I'm
But whatever.
asking you point blank.
No,
what
I
do you-
see
what do you already
see your
say?
point. I see your point, Q.
Where are we going?
In business,
The movie was pointless to put this movie out. That's my point. It was
All
pointless.
right.
To put it out.
Yeah, I agree with that. But we were in a totally different zone 10 minutes ago, so I'm confused.
How?
No,
How?
I mean, look, there's stuff.
You
They
were-
are
you
stuck
were
with
talking
stuff
to-
that they gotta get rid of.
Well, Felicity's talking about one conversation. You were just on it about Flash again. But 10 minutes ago, we were talking about how you're sick of WB. It sucks.
That's a part of the
And then
Flash
Hawk is
argument.
arguing
That
with
is a
that.
part of
It's a totally
WB.
different
That's like
WB.
that's all connected. They are all connected.
They're not
the
connected
WB
to
is the
anything
garbage
Gunn has
can.
done because he hasn't done anything yet.
I'm not talking about Gundam. I was
Okay,
talking about the
but-
Flash.
To your
That
point,
was
Nerd Mafia.
Felicity's
If he's
point.
not
Well, we were
connected to it,
talking
then
about
why get
Gunn,
out
though.
there and say it's one of the best comic book movies that have ever been made? Why get out
You
there
were
and
just
say
got
talking
that?
about the
If you're not
Flash, and I
connected.
gave my opinion of the movie, The Flash. I'm saying it was like a dumpster fire, that it was pointless. Like I don't think, like, listen, I'm not shitting on people's efforts. I'm saying like what it ended up being, and then putting it out in the way that it's been put out. It like does nothing to move it forward. You know, it's and in the story itself, they just butchered a story that was something completely different. Really, you know.
I
It
agree
just
with
ends
all
up
your
being
points.
it just
on-
ends up
on the
being Barry
Flash.
versus Barry for what reason, you know?
I very passionately shit all over the Flash until I had no more feces left in my body last week, and then you're saying all the
And
same
my
stuff
point
on me.
point towards Gunn is this. I'm just saying that I don't know that anything that he tries to do at this point is gonna like revitalize his brand on the silver screen.
His brand or WB's brand?
The WB brand of DC. It's always
Right.
going to be the WB brand of DC. I'm saying I don't know
I
what
disagree with that.
I don't. Oh man, I
You
don't know
call-
what's he going to do to come in and
But you
like.
call so listen. You
And
call
he'll prove me
Snyder's
wrong. It'd be great.
you
know,
call
but-
Snyder's verse brand of WB.
I'm sorry. What?
You call the Snyderverse the brand of WB.
I'm sorry, man. You
DC.
can't just say that that's the Snyderverse because it's not. It's a butcher.
I'm asking you because there's been
It's a
multiple
Butcherverse.
iterations of
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's a
Do you
butcher.
consider Snyder's
It's not just
universe
Snyderverse anymore. It was.
WB?
It's not just. It ain't been the Snyderverse for a long time. It's not. It's
Do you-
Snyderverse,
Did you
and
hear
it
what
is. And it was Jeff Johns and what's the other dude's name that people complaining about on the
Hamada,
Justice-
Toby
not Hamada.
Emmerich.
Mikey Porter's confused.
the flush. Anyway, my point is that it's not. I'm not just attributing it to Zack Snyder. That's not my point. I'm saying is that there's so many inconsistencies over the overarching thing because of people changing stuff in and out, and Zack's exit all of a sudden, right? And then whoever was making the decisions after that doing what they did. It was just a complete mess, you know.
So there's still going to be a mess for you because they're still going to have Elseworlds. We're still going to have Reeves verse. We're still going to have James Gunn's DC.
I don't have an issue with
We're
those.
probably going to
things,
get
though.
another. So
What I have an issue with being a mess is the stuff that was supposed to be connected. That's what I have an issue with. If you're gonna do a connected universe that's supposed to be connected, and you have elements of stuff going from movie to movie,
I
like,
think
have-
that was Snyderverse was the most connected thing they ever had going for them.
Probably, but even so, that's done. They're
and I'm
starting
saying
from
after
scratch
he
now.
exited, right? I'm saying after he
Right.
had to leave, right? Everything that he had planned and all those movies that were supposed to be coming out afterward, that were already being written, all of those things had to shift and change after that. I'm saying that at that point, the real butchering began to like happen to the
Agreed.
overall properties. That's my point.
I agree.
I think that the last time it was like something really out that I enjoyed 100% from DC was probably Nolan's Batman. And even back then, I had issues with it because of certain things that happened with the characters. But it was like it's been the best thing DC, and I mean since the 1989 Batman. I think. I don't know. And then after that, I don't know.
Well, it's at this point in time that public service announcement is going to be placed out, and that is
I'm Ricky Bobby. If you don't chew
Matt Cave Gaming.
then you.
how about our boy Matt Cave Gaming? Call your mom, call your dog, call anybody that you can create a YouTube account for. Get this dude totally it's totally monetized. I'm just breaking the ice with Matt Cave. Get
You know,
that
you're
man
right.
monetized.
You're right, Lobo. But you know what it was better than though? It was better than Thor: Love and Thunder.
Weak ass Bane.
Except for the goats. I'll take those goats. Those goats were great. That was the best part of Thor: Love and Thunder for me.
Yo, Quinn, you asked me a weird question earlier. So
Did I?
do you love anything?
What was the weird question?
We were in the middle of talking. You're like, you have any friends? What?
I like the first few seasons of the
I'm
Flash
the one
CW.
that usually hates everything, so I have to
Quinn's
beat
in a
up
mood
for him
tonight.
in this one. No, he gave his honest opinion, and some people don't like that, but
He
that's
said-
okay.
No, I agree with most of what he's saying. I was just trying to figure out where the hell we were going. He's like, I just want to
giving
yell
my
about
opi-
something.
Listen, we started talking about the Flash, right? I gave my opinion on the Flash, and then Hawk gave me some points, some talking
hell is
points
basement
of defense for DC comics and DC film and what's coming on the gun end, and then I gave
Try
a
to keep
rebuttal.
up, Nerd Mafia.
I gave a
Shit.
rebuttal. You was the one not paying attention, dog.
It's like we were talking MMA or something.
You're throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now because I don't understand them, I'm gonna take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth.
All right, I'll chill.
What else is going on in
I need some new ones.
nerddom? Is when is this Ahsoka?
Yo,
coming
I
out?
heard oh my god. I don't even want to say it.
You heard
While
what?
we wait on that,
We're
I
gonna
know
get
what you're gonna say. The casting.
we're gonna get Dwayne Kratos.
What?
Yeah.
The Rock?
Yeah. Dwayne Kratos. I heard that. Is that what you were gonna say?
Wait, what?
Felicity?
No, I hadn't even heard that.
Someone said it today.
You know
I'm
who should be
terrified,
Kratos?
Actually,
Christopher Judge, the dude who
not
like,
The Rock. That's for
the
goddamn.
dude who voiced him in the recent games. He should be. Like,
Speaking of The Rock. Wow. I mean, I guess he's got to be laughing his ass off about this shit that happened with the Flash.
Yeah, a little bit, probably.
it's not for
No,
laughing
but,
about the show getting canceled.
I mean, it's probably
Legacy,
bittersweet for him.
supposedly?
Now.
Is that the one you were saying? Supposedly we have I heard casting for James Gunn's Superman too, supposedly.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
maybe we
that, but
should
then I saw
jump on
Jeff
the fleet.
Snyder say no.
Yeah.
That it
Yeah, I
wasn't
know. I
true.
loved that. I love that.
Hmm.
Keep going back and forth. Somebody be wrong so I can move somebody above the other. Is that bad? Is it bad? I think leak culture is weird to begin with, but I do kind of like to keep a track record of like who gets it wrong and who gets it right. Maybe it's just me.
I just like talking about it. I don't get invested in who's wrong or right.
So can we
I
talk
just
about
think
it?
it's
Are
all
people gonna be
interesting.
mad if this is like
This
True.
isn't like a spoiler.
No,
This is
I'm
casting.
totally down to talk about it.
This is what he's talking about right here. So it looks like we're getting this for Superman Legacy.
Oh, I saw that on Twitter earlier. Yeah.
I mean,
I froze right as I was about to talk.
I'm guessing this is Lex Luthor.
No,
No,
Skarsgård.
What?
Yeah, that's Skarsgård on the screen right there.
I know. I thought he was going to play Lex Luthor. That's what I meant. What the fuck?
I'm delayed as shit. I'm delayed as shit.
Oh, okay. Huh?
I think he would make an interesting Lex Luthor. I don't know if I
What
want to
the hell?
necessarily buy it just yet.
No shit, that's not Lex Luthor, guys. I realize he's not acting in this film. I said,
Wait, what?
I said Lex Luthor, and Hawk's like, no, that's Skarsgård. I was like, what? Oh, Jesus. All right. Is everybody tired as hell on Monday night, I think? Nothing.
Are you muted right now?
You realize that my camera
yeah.
froze and my response wasn't to actually what you said.
Oh, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Moving on.
Well, Quentin repeated you after you said it. This is what he did. Like, no, that's Skarsgård. Like, what?
You know, this dude looks like. So you know what I don't like about this?
Looks like the Smallville guy.
He looks like Tom Welling, and I'm like, come on, man.
He
That's
kind
what
of looks
they're
like
going
Henry
for.
Cavill. You
know
he's
what?
got
He
the
does.
eyes.
He's like a Tom
Yeah.
Welling Henry Cavill mix, and I guess if anything, that's going to be a Superman look, right? So I can't hate it, but at the same time, I'm like kind of like I'm still. I think I'm jaded, so I'm like, I don't care.
Looks like a young Christopher Reeves to me, actually.
He does not look.
Yeah,
like
he's got a
Christopher
little
Reeves
bit
at
of that too. Maybe that went into it.
all. Brandon Roth could have pulled that off if they had not ruined that script, you know. So, but they ruined their opportunity with bringing the Reeves look back there.
So between like Superman and Steve Rogers, like
Yeah.
who's the most Aryan race of all the comic books?
Wait, what?
Like who looks like Hitler's youth, like incarnated?
Huh? What?
Which one of them? Like, I mean, Rogers has like the blonde hair. Does he have blue eyes too? So I guess he would be like more fitting.
Where is this coming from?
Rogers is a clone, so
Just a thought I had. Like,
Oh my God.
like
Whew.
just say. All right.
Oh my god. Look.
I
he
literally
looks
don't know who
fine.
either of these people are.
Yeah, they're. I guess that's David Corn Sweat. I think.
Corn
I guess
Sweat?
Yeah, I know. And Phoebe Diviner. I have no idea who she is.
What is she from?
I don't know.
I've seen
but
her in
I gotta
something.
be honest with
That's
what
you.
I'm saying,
She
too.
just looks so vanilla to me. I don't.
I'm
think
that
there's
supernatural
anything
meme on the
interesting
far
in her.
right. That's me.
That's my point with the Aryan race comic. Don't they all look like super vanilla? Like,
Okay, so are you saying
Oh.
that you wanted a race swap? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not. I'm just making fun of like the comics as a whole. Like, it's
So are
just,
you
like-
saying you want to know where Michael B. Jordan's at? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm just making fun. I'm like, maybe that's why Superman is not that popular. Like he's just like, you know. But then again,
So are
Captain
you-
America gets away with it.
Are you not excited at all about this movie?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, because I'm excited to see what Gunn's like a different perspective. Will do with
It might
Like,
be
he's got a way
immaculate.
of-
That's how I do not know any of these people except for Bill Skarsgård. That's it.
I like that he's going with like relatively smaller actors too. I wish Marvel would go back to that. But yeah.
Miss Marvel actress? Is that not like somebody? Is that somebody you were well known of? You knew that person before Miss Marvel dropped?
Okay, but now let's talk about all the other ones that just came out.
She's about to be in the Marvels alongside.
You're picking the exception, not the rule.
It's not the exception.
Okay, let's go through
Photon, the actress who plays Photon. You knew who she was
the
before.
rest. So she's
the
a major
Marvel shows?
character. She's a major character.
She's gonna be in the
already?
Marvels alongside Captain.
She's gonna be a sidekick.
No, all three of them were sidekicks in that case, including Captain Marvel herself, right? So they're all three headlining the movie. My point is, did you know who she was before WandaVision?
No, but you know what? I know who Adam Driver
Okay,
is. I know
thank
who
you.
Margot Robbie is.
Oh,
And
come
I
on,
know
man. That's the Fantastic friggin' Four.
I know
Get
who
outta
Oscar
here.
Isaac
there are
is.
Plenty,
I
there are
know
plenty of
who-
roles in Marvel where there's like
I know
people
who,
you did not know before those roles.
I know who
Get
Christian
outta here.
Slater is.
I could go.
know
I can
who-
keep going down the list if you.
I know
want.
who Harrison Ford is.
Did you know who the actress was who played Shuri before Black Panther came out?
Again, now you're going all the way back to what? Phase 3, phase 2.
Your point was that they don't like they.
I said I wish they would get back
right?
to that.
Right, but they've been doing it the entire time. Riri
Well, they
Williams, you
haven't.
know who that actress is?
Did you know who Chris Hemsworth was? before
She's
you
about
said
to
it?
be a big time role, right? So like,
Did
did you know who she was? Come on,
Chris
man.
Hemsworth was? Did you know who Chris
saying they're
Evans
still-
actually was
they're
before
still
he was
doing
Captain
it, though.
America?
Haley Steinfeld.
Did
She
you-
has
did
a
you know-
she has a following, but did you like it like you don't follow her yourself though, right? Haley Steinfeld.
She had already started into the universe.
I'm saying though, you weren't like a big Haley Steinfeld follower or fan, right? Before she was cast as Hawkeye or in Hawkeye as Kate Bishop. Were you watching some Haley Steinfeld movies, outside of that?
I wasn't, but it's interesting you're picking
I'm just
all the
going.
female
No,
characters,
I'm
too.
just going down
And
the
I'm
list.
not gonna know, even if they are.
That ain't
female.
okay. Wanda's kids, the two kids who
Get the fuck out! That doesn't count.
that does count. These are all big characters in this big universe.
What children are?
They all
they're
play a
not
big
yet.
role in different stories.
They're
and
not yet, and those kids aren't gonna
No,
be
but they're
playing them.
building up to it. And your point was that they need to get back to doing said thing, but the people that are going to be in the leading roles soon, right? And in these bigger roles like Younger Visions and stuff like that, they're already putting them in place.
Not those characters, not those same actors.
Yeah, dude, I'm just saying, like they keep getting unknowns to do that. The people who are coming in to play the grown-up version of them are also unknown.
We don't know that yet. They don't have. We don't know who they.
Quantumania, the chick who plays the daughter, Statue, right? I don't know who she is. I still don't know.
She actually has some. Well, again,
Actually,
you
they
picked out
should
every
go on the
female.
trash pile. I thought her performance was horrible.
Right, but my
actually.
point is, well, yeah, okay, but Felicity, you see what I'm saying? I'm just countering the point that they don't do that anymore. They still do it. They're still doing it.
And I said, I wish they get back to more of it. Like all the other, I named a bunch of roles that they didn't do that.
It's everywhere in the MCU. All right, Shang-Chi, Simu Liu. Did you know who he was before he came out of Shang-Chi?
Yeah, it's a well-known.
No, you did
black
not. Get out of
comedian.
here. You didn't know him at all. You bullshitting. You probably didn't even know who Michelle Yeoh was before.
We
that
still
movie.
don't
Get the
know who
fuck
he
outta
is,
here.
Quentin. Okay, he's a
My
fool.
point is
That's
that you're
about it.
making but my point is that it's like, you're making a point that's not really a point because they do it. They've been doing that the entire time,
Quinn just wants to fight with me tonight.
I'm saying if you're gonna bring up a point and we're gonna debate about something, I'm saying you got to get your facts in line, buddy.
I just
you
saw
weren't-
a bunch of them. Man.
You ain't been listening to us most of the time. We were talking. You talking about what you was talking about earlier, man. First we talked about Flash.
my
Then we
headphones
talking
were
about Double
disconnected.
B, and now we talking about Maheda and all these other people. What we talking? What's up, my man? What's going on?
You saw everybody on this stream saw my headphones go out. Man.
You
Here,
had,
Mafia. Great job. Good job predicting.
Just gotta give myself a little pick me.
your headphones are working when we were talking about the Flash stuff. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, there are 200
Aquafina.
people on this stream.
Aquafina. We all knew who she was.
Awkward Fina.
Damn it!
You
Q.
gotta. If anybody out there ever starts wanting to act or perform in any way, you better get Awkward Fina's agency because she shows up in every fucking thing.
She done blew
Is
up.
horrible and still gets jobs.
You know who else did that too, though? Janelle Monáe. She started starring in movies, right? She was just a singer, right? And then all of a sudden she was in a lot of big films out of nowhere. So she's got a great agency too, but she's good. That's the difference. Yeah.
So Superman Legacy. There's a lot of leaks already. I wonder how James Gunn feels about that.
There's a lot of leaks already.
I'm sure he'll let us know soon.
Apparently, the DCU Reddit, some leaks, maybe it's DCU leaks. These guys have been getting things right since before the Flash film. So it could be people that work there, people in the know. But apparently this movie is going to introduce like a crap ton of other characters in the greater universe. Like a dozen plus. Like every name you hear is going to be a name that can come up in The Authority or a future film. So it's going to not just be the first Superman movie, but an introduction to the greater universe.
Yeah. Listen.
How's the stream even still going?
I stopped reading chat when he said MC rules. I don't know. We were talking
I
about
want to
DC.
know. So like we're probably just gonna jump in the middle of like the existence of the DCU and the Superman movie, right?
Somewhat,
Like
yeah.
so it's I don't expect a full blown origin story. But he's gonna have to try to do it a little bit to kind of explain why Superman's getting a young man angst since he's gonna be a younger version and not necessarily the 100% Boy Scout that we know. You're getting sniped soon by YouTube HQ. I mean, Mans is on his way to 1,000 subscribers already, and he's already trying to dump it. He's like, "What can I do to get more?"
Congrats on that.
It's like,
I don't know how that happened.
let me be controversial so I can get like 20,000 more and then get canceled by YouTube.
So I disagree with this take completely. I like origin story. Like, tell me the whole story. Don't tell me no half-ass story. I'm actually. I'd
This
almost
goes
rather
back to what I was
have
saying though.
Spider-Man again.
This goes back to what I was saying though. Like I've seen like so many movies like this about Superman at this point, and kind of sort of the animated universe has also kind of sort of ruined it for me too. I'm a little jaded on Superman at this point. Like I've seen so many versions of Superman across mediums right now that I'm like, man, I kind of need a break. Which I guess is the point of them not starting with him. But even when they come back, it's just.
What do you guys think about when they do callbacks? Like, I honestly don't mind when you get like a Grogu origin story where it's like we'll see 2 movies of this Superman.
Right.
Maybe we don't have to see all of his origins until like some shit hits him in the second movie, and then they go back to like him landing on Earth or something. But we definitely don't need it right away.
The Grogu bit that we got was satisfying. I'll agree to that. The way that they did it. I want to know where he's from. I want to know where Yoda's from. We don't know that shit yet. Right?
I don't think we're ever gonna learn that.
But I kind of like how. Yeah, I kind of like how.
Don't say that.
I just want to learn what happened after he got him off Coruscant. Now, like we got a piece of the story.
I mean, that'd be a good segue to get into Star Wars, right? How bittersweet is it going to be to see Ahsoka, with the passing of that particular actor? That's wild, man. So,
I hope that they represent him well in the show.
Yeah,
that's all I can really hope for. And that I have no hype at all for that show, unfortunately.
None.
What?
Don't care.
Which show now?
Ahsoka.
Don't care.
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
No hype for Dave.
She's trying to trigger me in my Rebels fandom. I'm like reading Thrawn right now and like all that trilogy books, like loving it. Like,
We're probably not going to get that much Thrawn, though. That's the thing, is that it's supposed to be called Ahsoka, but unfortunately, Lucasfilm has problems with naming shows and then not making those shows about the main character. So it's always about somebody else. Like Kenobi was about Reva. The Book of Boba. everybody but Boba got some shine in that show. And The Mandalorian is apparently about Bo-Katan now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Boba, he got like this weird redemption arc that he didn't really need at the beginning of the show. Like they made him softer for some reason by doing this whole like tribal thing with the people in the desert. Listen, I still enjoyed Boba Fett for what it was, but I see what you're saying. Like everything so far has been like, the main characters on a side quest while like
Rebel Season 5. That's what
I don't care what the fuck they call it. As long as they give me Rebel Season 5.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I love that show. I can't wait.
I am interested only because I think this is the catalyst to see where we're going next. That's it.
If it is written and shot like the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, I'm ready.
Those are
phenomenal. I don't understand. Like this will be probably some of the best Ahsoka we get.
Perhaps.
I'm tired of Ahsoka though. That's my problem.
This is Filoni's love letter to her.
That is a you problem.
I mean,
this is another female.
She's just coming around though. Is she not just coming around though? Again, in this adult part of her life, like she's just emerging. We know nothing about why she has a white cloak. Where she's been missing for 5 years. She was on Malachor near that Sith temple. Like, we know there's some crazy stuff coming. I feel like she's going to be a new character for a lot of people. She won't be the
I
same.
hope that's the case. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I just don't have the interest because it seems that we are giving her Luke's arc, and I'm a Luke fan.
Hey,
So
the truth shall set you free.
hey, if that's what it is, it is. I just wish people would admit that.
Own it. I feel like more people should be more opinionated like that. You know, like they should be writing stories like this for Luke. I do agree. I don't.
But
Yeah.
yeah, look, I want to be excited for Ahsoka. I'm just not. I hope it's good. But you know, it is what it is. Why? What is with
We
all
literally
the
can't even have a
Hitler
conversation
and
anymore because he's
What
just
is this?
pulling up
Why am I on this?
whatever.
Hitler and the Aryan race stuff?
What is it? What is that? Come on, man.
What the hell?
It doesn't seem weird to you. You just got these blue-eyed, blonde, like I don't know. All right, whatever. I'll try.
Nah. That might
Nah.
be a you problem.
No, I see nothing wrong with the characters and how they look. No.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that-
just give me her story. That's fine. But if you're just giving me her doing Luke's story, then I have no interest in that.
So a lot of people think that. I mean, you know how Star Wars likes to drop titles for movies in things before these movies come out. A lot of people think that the Filoni movie, or possibly even an unknown director, even Feige, who might still be on board, but their movie will be titled Heir to the Empire, and we will get that story with Luke Skywalker, potentially Mara Jade as well.
But where the hell is Mara Jade coming in?
Oh no, please!
Bro, we have a
no
30-year
Mara Jade. My God,
guys, we have a 30-year gap.
Here we go.
30-year, and she fits in. She fits in very well, actually.
So depressed Luke in the sequel series was because Mara Jade also not just the Jedi Temple
and his children.
But he does not mention his dead children and his dead wife.
That'll do it.
Would you?
I mean,
I
would talk to somebody about it.
Or would you go exile yourself on an island, never to return to the Force ever again?
I don't know about. I think it's a stretch given them.
My question for all the sequel haters is, what name do we have to put in that temple and burn it down for you to feel bad for Luke? Because I'll put all the names I have to in there. Ahsoka, she could be in there.
Grogu, I don't really feel bad.
Yeah, Grogu could be in there too.
Listen,
well,
I don't need
in
Luke to have dead children and a dead wife for me to feel bad for who he was in the sequel series.
Well,
I already feel bad for him. I don't need all that. I have children and a wife. Do I want this man to lose his children and wife in story so he could be the depressed being that I saw in those sequel movies? No, I don't.
I hate how everyone's like, well, where were they this whole time? Bro, there's 30 years. Hopefully we find out. If you don't want those stories if they work, I don't know.
But the problem with that is, like, if your wife and kids die, I'm not even gonna say
that was
kids.
a hypothetical. Let's not
if
go there.
if he's in love with Mara Jade, right, and she dies, right,
Yep.
like for about 15 of those 30 years, I'm off blowing some shit up.
See, I don't think you have to go that far. I think you can.
I'm just saying.
No, not what you're doing. I mean, with the
I'm just
story,
saying.
I don't think you have to go as far.
And I don't mean like I'm turning to the dark side of blowing shit. I'm saying like I'm drowning myself in like, well, where's this cell that we heard about? Let's go blow some shit up. You know what I mean? Like I'm not building a Jedi temple and like training people.
I don't
where
think
I'm
you
like
have to
being betrayed by
replicate the
my
story
nephew.
word for word, though. You could have a different version of Mara Jade in it. You could have them have like a fling and not have.
I'm saying, at what point
so
do we get? Okay, so you're saying the temple thing involved Mara Jade is what you're saying, Hawk. You're saying you're thinking.
What I've been saying with a couple other people is that somebody potentially helped move the cloning operations to Exegol.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't Kylo Ren. And Palpatine was half a body. They had that clone body. So I don't think the cloning operations are on Exegol right now. I was hoping that like potentially Bad Batch and stuff would lead to all this cloning on Mount Tantus and that having to move for some reason into the unknowns, because we don't know why the Empire goes to unknown space or why Palpatine has to go to Exegol. But
I thought we.
I think
saw
Mara
some-
Jade fits in. I think she does. I think they're
Did we
showing
not-
other Jedi who have defected, like, you know, the 2 Jedi that are going to be in Ahsoka. They're just new Jedi.
Did
So
we not see?
how come
Snoke
they can show up
bodies?
and Mara Jade can't?
I thought we saw Snoke bodies in tanks. At one
Clones,
point.
yes.
We did,
Yep.
right? So we know
And Mando.
we know that, you know, at which point Snoke comes into play in terms of that area, right? But that's the Emperor controlling Snoke, though,
Mentally, yeah.
right?
Yep.
So
Okay, so I just gotta ask here.
so they don't need to move the cloning stuff to where he is in Exegol. That's just him projecting his influence over Snoke. There was
Yeah,
no,
but all
there was
that
never
equipment
need-
and all that cloning shit got there somehow.
Well, there were bodies over there, right? So maybe that was there the whole time, though, because
I think
what I'm saying is
cloning
that
and
you
force
don't need
cloning
to
is
get,
new technology in the galaxy.
no, but I'm saying that we saw clones on Exegol, but we also saw clones in Mando. I'm saying that you don't need somebody to like leave and, you know, from the Jedi Temple to go and give him, like, that information might have been getting sent to him the entire time between all this like correspondence we have from some of these cells. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but
I think
that
that's what
seems
they're showing
far-fetched.
us with these shows like The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, that the galaxy's winning against the Empire, and the Empire will be completely gone until until Snoke and the First Order, etc. So I don't know.
I gotta ask a question here. So why do we need to inject Mara Jade into this storyline?
Because it's part of Luke's story.
They're trying to pull the Flash.
Because it's part of Luke's
I,
story.
I don't think that it helps Lucasfilm with the fandom to add Mara Jade to the story. What do you think? Do you think that the fandom? I know that you want this, but I'm just saying overall, the fandom as a whole. Do you really think that that's going to go over well?
I think that it needs to be written better than they've ever written. I think if you're writing Luke Skywalker, you need all hands on deck, George Lucas included. And I think you can bring the fandom back with some of this stuff, like a well done, well casted Mara Jade side by side with even a CGI, like full CGI young Luke Skywalker, or stand in. Like, I'm just saying, if people want, like, what I don't understand is why the majority of fans who dislike what's happening now wouldn't invite the chance for a Mara Jade to be great.
I'll tell you why. I have a
Like-
rebuttal for that. I'll tell you why. Because we've already seen Luke disjointed throughout time in so many different areas of the story that are spread out, right? There are plenty. I think so. And I think that there have been plenty of times where there have been like some type of mention or some type of nudge by someone, even if not Luke, by like Leia or somebody who was connected to that circumstance, right? Like, you're talking about, I don't even think that this is going to get to where it's connected to that Jedi temple being burnt down, because
I don't either. I was just saying, for instance.
I don't think they'll be able to loop that in. And the problem with us having 30 years of gap to fill in, right, and then seeing Luke at so many different points of time and seeing what he's doing, we know he's actively trying to work towards building something, right? In the middle of Mando, he was with Grogu for supposedly, some people say 5 years, some people say it was just a little bit of time. We don't know exactly. how
No,
long
it was not even a year. It was
not
more
even a
like
year. Okay.
months.
So why did they say 5 years? Who was it? Who was
Storylines book? It
Yeah.
was like in the same year.
Right. So he's actively doing things. Like, he doesn't seem like he's in a position where he's like got a love interest that he's, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he would be the kind of guy where he has a love interest like Cal, right? Cal and what's the Dathomir sister's name in the game? I forget.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, they
It's like
fall
they
in
don't-
love because they meet during this rebellion and are fighting together. And Luke and Mara fall in love because she's actually protecting Palpatine. And Luke and her meet in a circumstance where they fight. She's the hand. So basically, she's the secret apprentice to Palpatine. This is post Maul now, obviously. But Palpatine always has a secret apprentice. Mara Jade could be it.
Yeah.
He has
I just
contingencies. So he has contingencies upon contingencies. What's his dead bodies contingency for Force users.
They lose their
He doesn't have anything to protect him while he's dead against Force users unless he was able to corrupt somebody.
they lose their ability to make me care because of
Yeah.
the watered down nature of all of the like
Other stuff.
dark side users we've seen since then, right? Like
Yeah.
we got the Inquisitors. You
Like
know,
I said, I agree. It has to be well done.
I don't know. Like I'm just saying, like this is the same issue that I see with
Yeah.
like with WB and DC, right? Like I'm saying, there's been so much stuff that happened that's come right that's like muddied the
Here we
water.
fucking go
And
again.
no, I'm just, listen, my man, I'm gonna exist. I'm gonna feel the way I feel, and if you want me on, like I'm gonna say
That's not
just
what
saying,
that's
I'm
not what
saying
I'm
that it's
laughing
muddy-
about.
Mike
mud-
Porter,
they're
comics
muddy in the
are
water.
soap operas.
They're
Get over
muddy
it.
in the waters. That's all.
Nobody dies. They're all cousins.
It's even more well explained with Lucasfilm, because it's like we're not talking about something where I have to look at different people, you know, destroying a property. I just look at Disney buying Lucasfilm and seeing what happened since then, right? Like we're all over the place, and it's like the water is so muddy with that particular character right now with Luke that like I don't know about seeing that storyline brought in just shoehorned, because if we were going to go that route, I mean we would have had to go on that route, you know what I mean? So I mean, because what I'm saying is that people just kind of have to suspend what they know to be from the past and just be accepting of this is just the character that we're going to use and name,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and have like a particular vehicle behind them for another completely different, like for a completely different reason. Because as Stanley brought up, right, nobody knows where Exegol is at. You needed a wayfinder to get there, right? So like if she's going to be his secret apprentice, we're going to be talking about having flashbacks to like the time.
Yeah,
period
where
that
did
we're
Kylo
in
find
now,
that
like,
wayfinder?
you know, well,
Found it on Mustafar.
yeah. So you think, well, in that case, you think that she was Vader's secret apprentice then?
No, I'm just saying, like, who put it there?
I mean,
There's
did
so
Vader
many
know-
unanswered sequel
Vader know
questions that
about
people
Exegol?
don't want answered, and I don't care because I think they're going to. I think they have to. They have to fill in these gaps. The most people I talk to who are upset about the sequels is that they didn't tell us anything. Well, yeah, because they did the same thing they always do, and they skip a 30-year gap, and then they fill it all in. They didn't tell us anything when Phantom Menace came out, and we just met Maul. Like, they filled it all in. So,
You know why I liked Stargate so much, the series? Because that was a slow burn.
jump around everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, because it
Has
was
a through line.
It was a slow burn into like very deep concepts that they were building on. Right, they had some big ideas that they didn't give us too much on, and they slowly expounded on them all until like season 5 or 6, where like there was just this big, just expanded universe that was amazing because of how they did it. I reference that because if anybody wants to know how to build out a universe over time, take your time. You know, but at this point, like they've brushed so many big things in trying to continue what we all loved. You know, I don't know. That's
Someone needs to make cartoon shorts with that title.
Well, somebody's
As
gonna
the
drag
Death
me.
Star turns.
I'm sure somebody's gonna hate me
That
after
needs
this.
to be a YouTube channel. Somebody go save it on their email.
Yeah. SG1 was amazing. It was. Yeah, I hope it is coming back. I hope they don't trash it.
But see now, like the state of how Lucasfilm creates their story, and we already know like pretty much exactly the roadmap of where Marvel's going. That's why, again, I'm so excited to see what James Gunn's gonna do. I'm actually, I think, most excited for his Woman of Tomorrow, where the Supergirl is stranded on like a chunk of a planet in the Kryptonian system after it's all destroyed.
Is that supposed to be?
Don't know why she can't fly or can't get off the planet, but she's stranded there with like all.
I feel like
the
they said
aliens.
it's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say I hope it doesn't get the treatment of the last Supergirl film that we got in the Donner universe.
That was like one of the least ones, the ones I was least interested in.
No, I'm just it's.
I mean, and
Listen,
his
they have a great
Peacemaker
roadmap. I'm not
his
saying it doesn't
Peacemaker
have it.
shocked the hell out of me. Like,
Peacemaker was great. It was.
I didn't think I was
loved
gonna.
Peacemaker.
I didn't watch that shit for the first 2 months it was out. I did not expect it to be that good.
But that's the realm I trust him in, though. you know. So I got to see what he does with like.
Bro,
all
look
the-
at these sweaty nerds telling me exactly why.
somehow
The red sun, apparently.
Well, that's why. Yeah, it's like if
Yeah.
it's a red sun, they don't have as strong powers as they do is on Earth. Like not even
Who
nearly,
knew?
not even a quarter of it.
Damn.
Like they're weak as fuck. Yeah. Without that yellow sun, man,
No shit.
Superman is.
No shit.
You know, yeah.
Hmm.
He has to wear a particular kind of suit actually when he goes deep into deep space to help him like kind of sort of retain some stuff. And like,
Damn.
yeah.
To reflect.
Well, I think it may actually
or-
store radiation for him and help feed him as he's like. I mean,
See, that's the kind of shit I want to see. Like, I
Well,
feel
that's
like
my
all of our like
point.
Superman and like Green Lanterns and Martian Manhunters, like DC in the live action at least hasn't really gone to like the expanses of the DC universe,
point.
man.
That's
Like
my point. They haven't had a chance to because they're so busy trying to like fix.
start and stop.
They're trying to fix the mistakes of like, okay, we're on a path. We messed up the path. Let me fix it.
Yeah.
I got to go back and fix it. All right. Are we on a new path? Shit, we messed up again. Let me
Dude,
fix
they
that.
really dropped the ball with everything.
Come
Snyder
on, that's
had.
my point. That's
Snyder
what I've
had
been saying
such a
this whole
huge
time.
plan, and he's the only one that did, and it shows. The CW was. I agree. It's just. I'm glad that Gunn came out and said that across everything, cartoon, live action, comic, whatever, they're all the same actors, same voice, same everything.
Yeah, it
So
remains
it's all
to be
gonna connect.
seen if they keep that promise that they all connect. Like if they do, that'll.
Well,
be
I'm
a
sure
first.
like cast or whatever, but
No, but what I mean is like that all of that content is really going to connect because that
I
would
think he
truly
even
be a
said.
first.
I think he even said video game.
Yeah, he did.
So
And so that would really be.
you don't just say things like that.
If they all really connect and like everything is going to be accounted for, and they're not going to be like, you know what, that was just in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't pull none of that shit, then I'd be happy. Then they'd win me over at least a little bit because then it would be like they didn't make this big promise that most studios have made, right?
Oh God, yeah.
And then it's like
Nerd Mafia, pull that comment. You want to talk about this? The last comment right there.
Aquaman?
Yeah.
oh shit, I forgot about that movie.
I think it'll be worse than The Flash.
Worse?
I think I don't care.
I think it'll make.
I think it'll make less.
It can't
think
make
that-
less.
I think it'll make less. Dude,
Oh.
like, isn't Amber Heard still in that shit? She's
like the
extra
first-
Miller times a billion. Like, are you
Probably
kidding
the
me?
first comic movie in a while that I just.
Yeah, but she's not the
even-
lead in that
Not really
movie, though.
interested at all.
That's the
She's
problem.
still doubling down on her bullshit. Like, she's still.
I think that the Flash had to come out because there was
I
like
think it does worse.
probably some accounting things that they were expecting
Something
to happen.
contractual. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
it,
agree.
like I would love to see the books behind the reason why they think it just had to have this movie come out. Because if you cancel a whole film that was done already, that was in the can, like Batgirl, right? That was supposed to expand on your story with Michael Keaton in it as well. Like, what's the reason why you like? I really want to see what happened and like with the numbers behind the scenes, just like because there were just some decisions that just don't make sense.
I
Bro, they're
wonder if
all
it
in a
all
room
ties back
together.
into Hamada. I really
might.
wonder that.
It might, but then with Aquaman, I kind of understand because with Momoa, they don't. I don't know.
Bless
Maybe
you.
they don't want to ruin that relationship, but they could probably easily pay him off. I see him as being like such a cool dude to be like, you know
He's
what?
gonna
whatever.
play their Lobo too. I'm
That's what
pretty
I'm
sure.
saying. Like he probably would have been okay
Um,
with Aquaman not coming out. They could probably have canned that and saved themselves some trouble. You know.
Well, I mean, but that was the most profitable, film that they had.
Aquaman.
So, Aquaman, yeah.
Really?
Actually, it wasn't. The most profitable. I misspoke. Most profitable was Joker because they spent
Okay.
the least on it.
Yeah.
But
that
the
was-
next
that was
one
Joker.
was Aquaman because I
Right.
believe the actual budget for Aquaman was like 150 million or something like that, and I'm sure with the marketing included,
Yeah.
it probably was like about double, so maybe like 300.
Hmm.
So they made money on it, but it was like the most profitable,
Yeah.
second most profitable.
It cracked $1 billion. Holy shit! I did not know that.
Yeah,
It
like
was-
1.1, almost 1.2, I think.
Damn.
they're keeping Herd in the sequel, right?
Yeah. Made cuts, etc., etc. But I don't know, man. They better have a room full of people figuring out who's better than Tom Cruise to quote how good this movie's gonna be.
Didn't the Flash is tanking right now, right? Like
It's tanked. It's not tanking. It's tanked. It's done. Okay, 73% drop within the week's time. Like it's like one of the biggest bombs of almost all time.
Here's a question for you: if you had to pick between Green Lantern, the one with Ryan Reynolds, and this Flash movie, which one would you watch?
I'd watch Green Lantern for sure. Yeah. Green Lantern.
Shit.
I'll watch a shitty Ryan Reynolds movie over a shitty Ezra Miller movie.
Thanks for being here, Stanley's. Thanks for being active in the chat, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, damn. You guys would take the Green Lantern, huh? That movie's not as terrible as I remember it being, too. Like,
I watched Van Wilder 8 before I watch a Flash sequel.
The Return of Ryan Reynolds to Van Wilder. Oh, man. Now, Mike, are you just saying that because you're like truly a Marvel shill, or you really didn't like The Flash? Is this one movie that you actually didn't like?
I think he's just got to poop. I gotta lie.
Oh yeah, he might be on the toilet. He just flushed.
I see.
Hey man, he's an old guy, right?
You like Green Lantern, okay?
Gotta get out we can.
Mike liked the Green Lantern. Damn. Yeah. Shit, man. I would have never known.
To see that show, the show that they have planned with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Is that still happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things that he presented in his little presentation.
Oh, that's not what they were developing before, right?
That is the same shit they had.
No, it's not. No, they reformulated it.
Well, it's still like Jeff Johns' baby that they won't let anybody touch.
Yeah, they were going to use a different Green Lantern too, I believe.
Okay, so they made some changes and probably spent a lot of money changing the direction of this to have it fit within the new direction.
It's supposed to be like a true detective type of show.
I'm curious to see.
They said
curious
not to interrupt. Isn't it they find there's something on Earth actually that they find.
Okay.
There's some big threat. I think it's like the anti-life or whatever that is. That
the anti-life equation?
Yeah, I think that the Green Lanterns actually discover it somehow.
I see.
But there's some greater threat that they're investigating, and I think it leads them to Earth. But
well, as long as it really truly connects to things, I'm curious because I've not seen a good Green Lantern yet in live action where it's like gonna be continued, right? Ryan Reynolds movie, I would bet that it wouldn't have had such a bad reception in the following years had they actually attempted to do a sequel and paid off some of the stuff that they did, that to see them go out into the universe and do a few things, maybe that would have been cool.
Fans will come back to comic book movies for the payoffs, regardless of how trash it was. Like we see that with all those Batman movies that we talk about. So
chilling in the basement makes a great point. They really are. They each have their own sector, and they quote unquote patrol that sector. Right? They are pretty much the state troopers of the universe.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to see Sinestro go build a Sinestro, and he was a really good Sinestro.
Yeah, all their villains are good too. Like
Mark Strong is always good.
Yeah, well, he looks like he looked like Sinestro. He was the equivalent of Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. looking like Tony Stark. That dude looked like Sinestro. That was him. And
he was the villain in Shazam too.
Was he?
In Shazam, the original Shazam with Zachary Levi. Yeah, he was the villain in that.
He was. Holy shit, he was. Man, there's so many missed opportunities with DC, man. It's crazy.
Not anymore, man. Enough is enough.
We'll see.
I'm not going. DC hierarchy is about to change, baby.
Poor Dwayne. God,
I'll never forget that quote, bro.
Poor Dwayne.
Oh my god!
And you know what's sad about that?
It sure did.
You know what's sad about that is like Black Adam wasn't nearly as bad as people try to make it out to be.
I gave it a 7. I liked it.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was. And if it hadn't been like all that other stuff going on behind the scenes, it probably would have landed way better than it did.
And
but
the villain that they
I
did
did
in it
not.
too, I thought was awesome.
shoot, man, Dr. Fate was amazing.
Pierce Brosnan always.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
he made that believable. That was a great character within DC, and Hawkman. Those, and then it's just sad because we won't see those two characters again
Right.
in those incarnations, right? So
Wait, Aldous Hodge was at the premiere of The Flash. You know he was trolling for the job. So come
Yeah.
on, he's going to show up somewhere else.
he show up
sure.
as something else probably, but I'm saying like that he did a damn good job as that character, you know. Um, we'll see. Black Adam made
What?
the most
She-Hulk
sense.
on repeat
Uh,
before you watch The Flash? Whoa, okay.
Just the twerking scene, I'm sure.
You know, I have not actually tried to rewatch She-Hulk yet, and now that you say this right here, I'm like maybe I'll go see what episode 1 looks like now. Because I'll tell you this, I know I can't rewatch WandaVision episode 1 and 2. Probably it's too slow. Probably too slow. I don't know.
People, who was saying that the Agatha show is going to be like top tier? Apparently, everything obviously she's the actress that's in it.
Yeah.
Are
you still alive?
Aubrey Plaza.
Yes, her.
Not Aubrey Plaza, Catherine Hahn.
No,
Pretty well known though, right? Catherine Hahn
Mother-
too, actually.
I think you're right though. Yeah.
I believe he is sleep talking right now, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I've been slacking on getting the predictions out. I had to finish those up.
I see.
Oh.
Wait. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're trying to give everybody like at least a day and a half to get that shit done. Yeah. The flush did it change the hierarchy of DC. You got to get yourself some help with that, man. Doesn't Santa have like, was it Betamax or somebody doing that for him? Betamax. Forgot the guy's name.
I don't know what I'm doing. I literally like called Santa like 2 times. I'm like, bro, I don't know how to do this. And I said, you show me what I'm doing.
You know, the Steve, I'm gonna say of everyone on this stream, I'm probably the one who likes She-Hulk the most. Probably because I know that it's actually most like it's probably the one property in the MCU that's most like its comic book counterpart, but people still shat on it for not being like its comic book counterpart, which was pretty hilarious. I'm saying that
Never
to say
was
that,
my argument. Never was.
not.
Mine.
I'm not saying that it was yours. I'm saying, but some like a lot of people have made that argument. It was really funny to see that too, because it was like you're trying to say this, but honestly, I think you just never liked this character to begin with, and that's okay, because she's not she's not that popular.
I just wish that a lot of these shows didn't. A lot of the shows for me feel like Easter eggs for movies, or stepping stones for what's coming next. Like, no shows really stood out as like, oh damn. Well, okay, so Loki, but that I think is cheating because that show ties together a bunch of the other shit, so it kind of is more enticing overall. But
it finally is. That was,
but
kind
no
of a
shows
long
really
payoff.
like. No show's really like, this is a show you should come back and watch. It's like, here's a show that's going to lead to X, Y, Z, ABC.
Speaking of, when is season 2 dropping? Is that before Agatha?
Loki?
Yeah.
Not sure.
That's going to be next after.
It's in October, right?
I don't know how long it's going to be to wait for it.
Is it after Echo?
I think it's in October.
No, Echo and Daredevil are like, wait. No, Loki and Daredevil. I think they're the same time?
Loki is
Echo
before
and Loki.
Daredevil.
Fatigue. There's too much of it.
Oh, my goodness.
Can't keep track.
Yeah, we're getting
No,
all the
yeah.
episodes of
It's out
Echo.
October 6th. That's the
Yeah.
premiere for Loki season 2. That's what I thought. October 6th.
I
So
think
that's
they're
not
same
that far
time, right?
Echo
all
drops
Echo.
at once, though, right?
Yeah, I think it
Yep,
drops
all
same
at
time.
once.
Loki.
I think Felicity's onto something too. They're worried about the show. It's kind of the same reason why they dropped 2 Kenobi episodes instead of 1.
Well,
Or was it?
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
they were trying to compete with Netflix because they needed the watch hours to build up in order to try to shoot it into, a top
the
spot.
algorithm.
Nerd Mafia, you know, the Echo actress, Eloqua Cox, she wasn't well known at all, right? This is like, I think her first big thing. So to your point
Well,
earlier,
I mean, come on.
She's right next to Daredevil and Kingpin.
Yeah, Thank you, Felicity. She's gonna
They
say
found
exactly
a
what
deaf amputee, Native American
he likes
to
to
fit
point
the
out
role. Come
characters you
on.
have to fit.
That's not. Listen,
in
speak to the points, though.
This
Speak to the
is the
points.
same man that pointed to the
Not
children in
well
WandaVision.
known. She
Examples
was
of
not.
not
She
well
was
known
not
actors.
well known. That was the point.
Felicity's like, yeah, but
She
she's
checked
like
off all the
2%.
boxes.
She's like a 2%er.
She was not well known. That was his
Pretty
point.
much. Like,
There's a bunch of actors like, come on, man.
Look,
2%
y'all ain't
of
gonna
people
give
in
me
the
no
entire
shit
world that could
after
fill it.
Nerd Mafia brought up Hitler and Aryan. Shit, okay.
We were wrong. Echo
listen, the
comes out.
context of that is important. Okay.
Echo comes
Context.
out at the end of November, November 29th. So we'll get October 6th with Loki season 2, and then we'll get Echo in the season where everybody's going to be busy with family, so it'll be okay for them to drop them at once. That's why they're dropping it at once. It's at the end of November. It's in the middle of the holiday season. Like everyone's going to be home. If that Thanksgiving weekend, right? They can get all that like binging out of the way. That's a good time
That's
to.
cool.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that's
you're
why
looking to avoid your family. It's a perfect way to do it.
a lot of people are doing that. I don't know.
Wait a minute. How many episodes
Why do you think I
is it for
scream?
Echo?
Holy shit!
Is it like 8, 10? Because I can't imagine that somebody's gonna,
Somebody
like,
say
that.
"But Nerd Mafia."
I'm trying to find it. Let me see it.
Little skinny, isn't she?
Sorry, I thought that's what he was calling for.
I think Echo is 12, but I can't find it for sure.
12 episodes? Oh man.
No, maybe I might be wrong about that. I think I'm trying to find the official.
I don't think they've ever done one that's 12 before Daredevil.
No, it's 6 episodes. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense if they're gonna drop it all at once.
The Marvel Phase 5 TV show, which will launch exclusively on Disney Plus, will finally make its small
too.
debut on
Yes.
November 29th.
Agreed.
Sounds like it's gonna be a cool show.
I think I'm hyped for it. I'm not sure how Mephisto is going to fit into it, but
He's
we'll
making
see.
a
Okay,
Gundam,
wait.
bro.
Wait a minute now. So y'all
Yeah,
are
6
hyped
episodes.
for Mephisto. You're not hyped for the main character? Is that what you're telling me here?
Precisely. That's
Okay. All right. as long as you're honest about that shit.
Talking about Echo.
no. I'm talking about Ironheart. I'm more
Ironheart.
hyped for Mephisto. It's one of
I
those.
mean,
'cause she's
we're
I
gonna
really
finally
liked
get to
her.
know her.
Yeah, I really liked her.
I'm not.
What did you
trashing
like
the
about
character.
her? I'm being
I'm like-
honest.
I'm just more hyped
I
for him and what he's going to
actually-
do. That's all.
I actually thought they did a really good job of making her act like a Tony Stark Jr. Like,
Yeah.
as far as her knowledge base and confidence in what she's doing. And I mean, there were a lot of things like the car belonged to her dad. Like, there's a lot of connections with Tony and his dad. I am excited for this character because I know the comics where this character came from and stuff. And I think she's going to also meet other Marvel characters at MIT or the school that she goes to. So
I wish they would have not put her in Black Panther though.
yeah, I
would've-
think
I
that
would
was a little
prefer-
weird.
I would have
Just gave her
preferred.
an origin.
They should have
Yeah.
just let her. Nah, they should have just let her stand on her own. That origin that they put in Black Panther would have been great in her show
Yeah.
on her own.
They
Right?
can still do
Well,
it
it's a
though.
black movie, so they had to put her in with the other black characters.
It's what I hate about these damn virtue signaling companies, man. They do this shit and they just like, all right, great, but like, you're wasting this character like this, right? You're saying you have no faith in her.
Yeah,
I think it was a little
It's disrespect.
teased.
Like to me, it's disrespectful. It's like you're saying you have no faith in this, and she is supposed to be a big deal in the comics, right? She is the next.
I don't know how.
I mean, she was
popular
really
comics
good
were.
in that movie too, man.
She was great in the movie, but that's not my point. My point was that I would have loved it more if she had her own thing to stand on. You know what I mean? Like they don't need to.
Well, now she's going to have her
I was
own
gonna
show
say, that's-
with
people are hyped.
Mephisto. So
Maybe
Yeah.
they had a reason to introduce
Not
her.
if it's
for Young
Sacha Boy.
Avengers.
Like if it's who I think it is that's going to play Mephisto. I'm like, come on, man. It's like, why didn't you give this person?
come
a
on, you don't
chance?
want Borat as Mephisto?
No, that's not my point.
Dude's a good actor.
We're just gonna be watching it for him, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You think he's going to be in it that much? He's
Dude,
the
it's
devil
Mephisto.
after all. I
It's
think.
Mephisto.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that hood guy though, running around for him.
he is gonna be the hood.
Okay, so it'll be the other actor, not the guy you're talking about.
My point is that it's just Mephisto the whole
Yeah.
time. That's my point. It's like,
Well,
don't know.
listen, it was Agatha all along, and no one gave a shit about that.
I just
either.
want a more solid origin story, is what I'm saying. That's all.
That's how they got that show.
Yeah.
That meme. Disney misinterpreted the meme and was like, "Oh yeah, people like that song. Let's give her a show."
It's Mormon time. Nah, that show's probably gonna be really good though.
Where are we on Jonathan Majors' watch?
We are not sure yet if he is 100% innocent, or I should say, if he's innocent. Let me say that, or if he's guilty. We don't know. I can't make any determinations from what's being reported. Everything is still kind of like, with the latest evidence, Jonathan Majors is seeming more likely that he's innocent, and so it's one of those things where I think media needs to fucking pump their brakes. I'm gonna pump mine and just say, there's due process, right? He's got to go through the whole
I feel
process.
like they actually. I feel
He's
like
got
they
to go
actually
through the whole
have.
process.
This is like the least amount of like. It's not like trending like I thought it would be.
It's not,
you know what I mean?
because there's so much uncertainty, right? If there's anything media's done in this case that's good, it's created enough uncertainty that they can't bury him, or not bury him yet. They kind of have to wait, right? Even though they're still doing what they do, right? But they still they can't really go all in yet. They kind of have to wait.
I halfway wonder, like they said, his management team left him, his PR team left him. Like maybe he left them for he needed somebody better. Like,
no, they left him. They parted ways with him.
Right, but it seems like they're playing it right in the media right now, just like you said. So maybe it was mutual.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew he needed somebody that could do a better job.
Yeah, there was something else, like to the point where there was, he's saying, or Lobo was saying that they sounded like the racist cops in New York. Well, to that point, I'm not going to say it was that, but to that point, there was so much kind of like, kind of forcing certain stories, and then all of a sudden there were people on Twitter coming out saying that, like, yeah, I was a victim of his too, right? The writer and the director, or
there's a lot of countering information coming out. Like,
it's
outside of all of that, I know he does have witnesses coming forward. So the Uber driver is gonna speak, and apparently there was a maintenance or somebody who had to let him into the apartment. Yeah. And they together found her. She had injuries on her. The footage from the club or whatever is his proof that she wasn't injured after the Uber incident. But apparently
this ain't always the case, Chillin.
The maintenance.
Not always how it works.
The person that let him in, basically Majors is the one that called 911. So him and the maintenance person get into their suite or whatever it is, and that's when the call was made. And I think at that point is when Majors obviously wasn't in the room. All the cops are there. Apparently the cops were encouraging her to press charges because she said 19 times on the body cam she didn't know how she got her injuries. And they assumed that it was a domestic because he called, etc. But that is all just like the speculation. I know there's witnesses, so let the
there's
witnesses
an inherent
speak.
fear for existence for certain individuals. When I hear that, what you're saying right now, like if he is innocent, like I can only imagine the fucking terror. But I don't know. So like I said, I gotta wait till everything, till we see all the evidence and everything. But like,
that
she was
scary as
hammered
fuck.
too.
He has to stay in court, and the jury of his peers does the job that they need to do. All this court of public opinion stuff, it doesn't really mean anything. It's interesting to talk about. But all I can say is this. I hope that he is innocent, because if Megan Good is hanging out with this dude after what happened with this girl, and he's guilty, I don't know, man. That's just not going to look good for her. That situation is weird for me. It feels like it's just PR. But
while all this is going on,
is that going to deprive her of all the work she's been getting lately, you think?
Well, she was in Shazam too, right? That was the latest thing that she was in.
I wouldn't know. I've never seen it. So.
Do you know who Megan?
But you've seen her before, though, right?
I do.
Okay.
I know. I'm sure you think she's very attractive, correct?
Yeah, I just haven't seen her in anything since like that Tyrese movie back in the day.
She's been in a number of movies, my man. Hold on. Let's look up that IMDb page real quick.
That's the last thing I saw her in.
I got early stage, whatever you want to call it. Let's see.
Maybe that's the last movie I saw what I wanted to see, I guess.
Let's see. We're on IMDb now. She has been in a television series called Harlem since 2021, and she's still in it till 2023. There's 18 episodes, so there's that. She's in a movie called Day Shift, which I saw, which was on Netflix. It had Jamie Foxx in it.
She was.
That was
in
funny.
That was in
I
2022.
saw that.
That
Too.
was
I didn't
great.
hear.
Yeah.
Was she his wife on that one?
She was the wife. Yeah.
She was Jocelyn. Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot
Forgot all about that.
Yeah, look, she was in Monster Hunter, that that hot garbage.
Never saw it.
No shit.
That's not my
Explains why I didn't remember
That's
that.
supposed to be like a blockbuster movie, though. That would be one of those tentpole movies that you put out that's always going to make a lot of money, but it's going to be a shitty movie, right? Wasn't Mila Jovovich in that?
Yeah, she was.
Look,
Yeah.
Yo, and
Mila Jovovich just be showing up and shit.
That's a jam.
With her
Yo,
husband.
Unbach. Who's the Unbach guy? Chat.
Oh yeah, he's in everything now, right?
Tony Jaa, right?
Tony Jaa, yeah.
Yes. Hell yes. He was in that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Tony Jaa is in Monster Hunter?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, why?
I swear to God, I gotta look it up.
Oh,
Why not? Like exactly.
I'm taking
man.
a stand.
Tony
He's
Jaa, Mila
talented. He
Jovovich.
deserves better than that.
That's what I'm saying, OG. I just don't remember seeing her anymore.
Oh man,
Like, 10 years ago.
she is in the media. It's just that you just aren't aware of what she's,
You just named like 3 like low key.
She's been working consistently every year since probably 1980, whatever.
What? Though?
Like,
Not 1980. She didn't get on the scene until like early 2000s.
her first thing was in 1991.
Really? Was a kid?
Megan, yes, bro. Listen, I'm 40 years old. I'm telling you, she's been on TV since.
Congratulations! I'm 38 next month. Like,
Yeah,
finish
okay,
showing
but I'm
something.
also a person of color. You know, I've been following Megan Good since I was a kid.
So I can't
Look,
like
The
to watch
last
black
thing
actors
that you
now?
want to
Let's
be
be
is
honest.
being
We're getting that.
famous for being the boyfriend or girlfriend of somebody.
We're
Exactly.
That's the
getting
last
that
thing
here.
that you want.
My point isn't to say some dumb shit. My point is to say, culturally speaking, right? As a kid growing up, I'd be more aware of what she was in.
I'm
and
not allowed to
when.
appropriate.
No, I'm not
My
saying that you
entertainment
aren't.
pleasure?
I'm saying that I don't expect you to know. I'm saying that I'm aware that she's been on screen for an extremely long time. There are a lot of actors like that.
I didn't know
a lot
she
of
wasn't a kid actor.
Listen, Mahershala Ali, a lot of people don't know how long he's been acting. They think that
I
he
see
just popped
a
on the
lot of
scene in the last 10 years. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man.
I see.
Listen,
I'm not being
Miss
insulted.
Elliott did a
I'm just
halftime show,
honest.
and everybody thought she was gonna have a huge career. That was like
Well,
5 years ago.
she did have a huge career, but it's not.
It
I mean,
already
it's more
happened,
behind
yeah,
the
that's what I'm
scenes now, I
saying,
guess.
Fuck, you're making me look bad right now. Cut it. You're not helping my point.
Shit.
Oh man. Wait, whatever. Oh god. Wait, who's a spectacular actor? He's done his Kang, especially after Flash Disney won't make the same mistake.
There you
I don't
go.
know, man. I think
Porter
that they
ain't
still
seen her
have
in shit, and
time.
he's 60, okay?
Do we know if Majors is supposed to? He's got to be in Loki, right? He can't. There's no way he can't be in Loki.
Bro,
I think
I'm
he's
saying-
in most of it. I don't think they can edit him out,
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, doesn't this just make him a more compelling villain?
No, no, it doesn't. He got beat down by Ant-Man and the Wasp and giant ants. No.
Yeah, but I remember last time you said that my argument was
Nerd
that
Mafia is
that's kinda what
casting
happened.
real life
Yeah,
pieces
you
of
know,
shit
like-
in his movies.
It's a win-win, all right? It's a win-win.
Let's get Britney Spears' dad. Let's bring him in here. Sorry,
my
was
God.
that too much?
No,
Sorry.
no. Well, I don't know, man. I think Disney is caught between the rock and the hard place with that one either way, because it's like they were trying to be like this altruistic company.
No, they weren't. They were trying to look like they were.
They were. That's what I'm
But
saying.
they weren't.
They're trying to sell
Yeah.
an image that they're not. You know what I mean? But it's that God forbid you start pointing stuff out, and then people are gonna come for your head because they're gonna say that you're just trying to be negative about everything. But it's kind of like, well, God forbid I want honesty in my life.
I mean, I applaud them for waiting it out and like not overreacting, you know?
You want honesty?
Okay,
follow
just because
James
it
Gunn on
hasn't come
Twitter.
out publicly doesn't mean that they haven't already moved on from him.
I
think
don't
that
follow
they
people
have.
like James Gunn for a reason.
But
man.
he's not officially gone. They didn't do the James Gunn thing. Like
Yeah.
you just brought
They
up.
haven't come out and said it. just because they haven't come out and said
Listen,
it.
you know damn well every time I say there's a director on project, you say it's not official until they come out and say it. So which fucking side of the coin you on here? Okay.
Look,
All right.
do you think it helps? Do you think it helps Disney to come out and say we fired Jonathan Majors right now?
No,
Do you
and they
think that
learned
helps?
they learned from that mistake with James Gunn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They could get you
No.
can give him a pat on the back once in a while, just for little things. It's okay.
I want to clarify that
No,
comment
but
I made.
why did he lose
Yeah.
his management? If
Well,
you
there's that too.
can't pay for your manager
That's that
because
too.
you don't have a job, your main job is Kang with,
You're
with
jumping to a
Marvel.
conclusion, though. We don't know that that's why he lost his management. They didn't say that he couldn't pay him, and that has nothing to do with Disney.
So, do you think maybe they knew that he was guilty?
Well,
That's what
apparently-
That's very unusual. That's
They
very
knew.
unusual that they were. Everybody was like, every interview was like, "Oh, Jonathan Majors is the greatest thing in this movie, Ant-Man Quantumania,
Bro, all the
Ant-Man and
movies
Wasp
he just did.
Quantumania." And then as soon as this shit hit, it was like, "We don't fucking know you. You're dead to us."
That's the management team. That's not Disney, though.
No, even the trades turned against
No,
him.
Disney
Again,
stopped, no,
the trades
Disney's-
are not Disney,
Disney stopped promoting him in a certain way.
which
they
is
were-
cautious, but it's not like reckless and just dropping him. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
They're letting it play out. They're not like just getting rid of it.
yeah.
I'm not going to give them credit in this instance because of the dealings that I've had with them. As a consumer of their products, I'm going to say no. I believe that he's been let go.
Just this one instance.
I'm going to clarify. The reason why I don't follow people like James Gunn, I said that I wasn't trying to be snarky. The reason why I don't follow people like him is the same reason why I don't follow people like Josh from Den of Nerds. It's like there's a certain kind of aura that follows those people and the people that comment and then the way they engage with people. I don't want to be seeing that shit. That's why I don't like. I got a choice. Like he gonna pop up anyway. Twitter don't give me any choice sometimes. James Gunn just pops up on my timeline, like just because of the algorithm. So like I don't need to follow him to see what he's saying all the time. It's just gonna pop up anyway. Yeah.
I mean, you'll see it. Yeah, you'll if you have Google,
Yeah.
you Google News, all that stuff is gonna pop up for you.
No, but even if I'm just on Twitter, like just looking at the people that I follow, right? Twitter shows me people that I don't follow, like, and it's usually some popular, and they're gonna show me James Gunn and they're gonna show me the Den and all this because I follow people who follow them and they interact with them, right? So like the algorithm's gonna show me anyway. It's like even if I didn't want to hear anything, I'm gonna see it anyway. It's like you can't get away from this shit. The management and PR people.
Well,
I guess we'll find out. It's like this is all speculation, you know. You gotta stick to the following.
It's just very odd that as soon as these charges hit, the management decided to drop him. That's not very typical in these situations. Usually they're like kind of be out there for you.
I think in this day and age,
he's innocent.
I think it's
typical.
I think it's very typical in this day and age for people to like just drop you immediately when there's like allegations like that. Because
the
now
PR and management, that's like why you hire them in the first place.
Well, because
some shit like this.
Here's the thing: if they don't want to be the ones that's gonna go to bat for you, and they don't want to be the ones defending you if you've really done something, right? They don't want the what if scenario.
Well,
You know
I think even Extra didn't lose his PR people until
exactly.
it started getting really bad.
Yeah.
I think
So
Majors had a
just
shitty
an
PR
allegation.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
don't
it like
think
this.
that's
I'm gonna say it like this. Jonathan Majors is a black man, right? There's been plenty of famous black men that's ended up in a situation like this, and they come out on the other side of it, and it's actually was true, and they end up in jail. You know what I mean? But then they also come out of jail and they end up still being popular and like having careers and stuff. You know, after the fact. So I mean, it's just like it's. I hate to say it, like there's prolific people always in the media like that ends up with something happening, and there's always a resulting storyline, right? So let's say if it was a white dude. I'm not trying to make it about race. I'm just being honest, right? There's been plenty of times where a white dude's been called out for having assaulted somebody, right? And he's in court, right? And then kid walks away, right? But even after that scenario, we still don't know if they did it or not. And even if they did do it, it's like they don't get any time and like that, you just get like a little slap on the wrist. Like Mike Tyson, he went to jail, right? Mike Tyson went to jail. He came out. People still love Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? But he went to jail for what he did. You know, if he, you know,
He was
he went through the
convicted.
process.
Yeah.
He got convicted. He went to jail. You know, whether Mike says that he did it or not, Mike was convicted. He went and he served time for it. You know what I mean? And he came out and he did his thing. So it remains to be seen. But it's like there is what I'm trying to say is there's an aura around the idea that, oh my God, this guy's being accused of being abusive, right? There's an aura. So like around Jonathan Majors, it's a little bit more serious because of that aura that comes with who he is. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. So there's a
I
big
just hope that he learns to make better choices.
Yeah.
And who he chooses to spend his time with. That's all I.
Yeah.
can
I
say
think
on
this
this.
just kills me. You just dropped that. Like when you're saying he's like Will Smith.
Will Smith is like that dude disappointed me. Don't get me started on that. Like
It was just funny when you were dropping.
I know. That's hilarious. I get it. That's who we are. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But yeah, that dude's a God. Talk about trying to be an inspiration to people and then doing some chump shit. Oh man, Steve Sturink. Come on. God. Yeah, it is.
Why don't you have that clip, Nerd Mafia? That would seem like a clip that you would have.
Yeah, him slapping somebody. That was like the most chump shit I've seen in a long time. Him walking up and slapping Chris.
Chris Rock was the most badass in the situation, though.
No, I got a lot of respect for Chris because he was like on global television right there, and he just stood there and he was like, "Really?" You know what I mean? And
yeah, he took it. He didn't fall. Nothing. Yeah. He's just like, okay, and then he lit him up in his Netflix special.
Because you know what it'd be worse.
That's what you're supposed to do.
What would have been worse for Chris is if like something. So he makes that joke, and then everyone thinks it's terrible, right? You just let the aftermath come because then his reputation is going to tank, right? You don't walk up and slap the dude if it's really a terrible joke, right? I mean, it's really warranted of having some kind of condemnation. It's going to come, right? Like, look at Ricky Gervais. He fucking crucified everybody the last time he was like hosted the show, right? And then after that, did he host the show again? No.
Yo, and
but
like,
all anybody ever talks about is him coming back,
right? Because they liked this. They liked what they saw. You know, I don't know. It's no. Tyson wasn't out of the loop, man. People like to say that, but Tyson went back to boxing when he got out, didn't he? You know,
I remember watching.
Broke. Like, he didn't really have a choice, did he?
Yeah, I remember watching a special of him just boxing in front of people in an empty ring.
No, but he actually has. Didn't he bite? Wasn't that after he was out of jail, right? When he bit the ear.
Comeback, yeah, he had a comeback of some sort.
Right? Yeah. There was like a string of fights after that. Like Tyson had plenty of time to make some money, you know, leading up to him having the fade out from the limelight. But then he came back in the Hangover and
bought a tiger,
literally, yeah.
Yeah, and he hated that they copied that tattoo in that movie. That was hilarious. He was so mad about that, man. Tiger showing his true shit. What else we got? What else is going on? I mean, I've butchered everything. I'm sure I'm going to have some enemies after this one.
Enemies? What?
No, not here.
Somebody
on
Twitter, somebody came for me recently because somebody posted a question or like, how many of you put The Flash in your top 5 list this weekend? I think the question was or something like that. And I replied like, nah, G, ain't making none of the lists. And then somebody responded, I turned on notifications for this to see this not ever reach over 130 subscribers. And I was like, what is this person trying to say? Are they talking about my subscriber count? Because I know I don't have over 130 subscribers right now, but also what the fuck does that have to do with what I was saying? And like, did they think I was trying to
shit on?
I don't know.
Yeah, Twitter's dangerous.
We tried, Steve. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Come back around, you know. You know what? I still haven't watched the first 2 episodes now. I need to go watch them. I need to make some time.
That's like one of those shows I keep needing to watch. I just never.
Season 1 is great, and I'll say this: if you liked Enterprise, right, that you were watching, it's nowhere near as slow as Enterprise, and it's a lot better. I think it's well worth to watch. Season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Yo,
I'm really dedicated to my Thrawn books right now.
what if
I need
I
to go
bring?
back and read those. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
They're really good.
I'm gonna bring back an old term I used to use a lot.
What's up?
Do you guys know it? From my Star Wars days.
I don't know.
Homework.
Homework.
You guys want some
Oh,
homework
Lord.
for next week?
Sure.
Because I just finished Black Mirror new
Okay.
season. So
I
if
haven't
you guys,
seen it yet. I forgot about that too.
it's quick. It's like
Yeah.
6 episodes, but you should watch that and we'll talk.
Yeah,
we should talk
me
about
and
that.
Hannah could do that. Yeah. That's
I liked it. The first episode especially. Watch the one that's titled "Joan is Awful," if nothing else, because I think Felicity would actually have a lot to say about that.
So I gotta watch. I was about to try watching
Okay.
it.
It's called "Joan is Awful." No, it's, and not to spoil too much, but like they have a streaming service called Streamberry, and it's a Netflix.
Nerd
So
Mafia, great job. Good job predicting.
That never gets old, Nerd Mafia.
Thanks, Mike. I just saw what you said. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Makes me feel good.
he knows. Me.
Her season 2 start was kind of weak. Are you talking about Strange New Worlds? They have themselves challenged because Strange New Worlds
Are
season
you guys talking
1.
Star Trek?
Yeah, I'm responding to a comment. That's fine. That's okay. They have themselves a really hard battle with season 2 because season 1 was such. I'm telling you guys, all three of you, season 1 of Strange New Worlds is such a great show. Like for a lot of reasons, it's none of the shit that people complained about with New Trek. It's really an enjoyable show. But they have themselves a challenge in trying to make it a season 2 just as enjoyable as the first season because I don't know if I'd ever seen a Star Trek series, a season of Star Trek, I should say, an entire season as well written in like so long. Like it's crazy. Never disrespect Roddenberry.
Yeah,
Roddenberry knows what I mean.
I'm sorry. I can't do New Trek at all.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, took you long enough.
Oh God. Well, you guys are all shitting on Trek. Woof. Wrong crowd.
No, I'm not. I'm not even shitting on it. I'm
No,
just
not
saying.
to shit.
I can't-
It would
Chat.
be such a
Watch
long
chat.
journey for me. Yeah, chat is kind of going.
Chat
in.
is dragging it. Holy shit. Oh, it
I
has
mean,
been
Star
2
Wars.
hours.
We can't go to judge a guy with Star Wars in his name, and this other one is Skywalker's Academy. What do you want?
I'm Ricky Bobby. If you don't chew
Matt Cave Gaming.
then you.
Exactly.
I'm going to request you make a few of those for me as well. I need to get my numbers up. I have no subscribers, apparently.
He's trying to prove that asshole wrong on Twitter, guys. Help him out.
I need some numbers, man. I got to buy a bot. It's usually only the last 2 minutes. What are we talking about now?
What is this, my wife?
Wow.
Where is the self?
We did not need to know this.